All right, there we go. All right, folks. Once again, welcome to the round table. And from whichever corner of the globe that you hail from, good morning and good evening. I'm joined once again by my esteemed colleagues, Emmanuel A1, and I think he stepped out to heat up a biscuit.
Oh shit, my bad. You couldn't hear me?
He's like,
Oh no.
I heard biscuit.
My bad. Yeah, I was saying yeah, it's good to be back on here. Appreciate it. I'm glad to have these guests on here. I think it's gonna be a good episode. Let's get it.
All right, right on. And by the mysterious ODT Reaper.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Oh well, we're about to find out what's going on. And our other usual suspects in the lineup, Sega Man and Tuck Master are MIA for the moment. Hopefully they'll show up later on. But we're joined by two guests today from the Technical Difficulties podcast, and that is Mr. Nelson. Tell everybody about yourself, bro.
Yes. First of all, before I even begin, I do want to sincerely thank our host, Mr. Bossman. I'm gonna say Bossman, for just having me on. Also, me and Miss Diamond up above right here. Hold on, so I can get my hand right. But hold on, I gotta switch my hand real quick.
Oh no, you're pointing in the right direction.
Okay, right. All right, there you go. Okay, I got it right. But no, thank him for just inviting us on to his podcast and just participating with him and y'all on here. And I would hope that soon we'll be able to get him on the Technical Difficulties podcast as well. And in case if you guys are interested in checking it out, don't worry. After this is uploaded, we'll go ahead I'll go ahead and just post it in the comment section. So y'all, just a quick link. And then if for whatever reason, if you want to check me out on Twitter or whatnot, I'll put my handle down there. Just in case for anyone who wants to reach out, I'm open to y'all. And just a warning, I just want to give y'all the heads up. I do tend to go out on a bit of a ramble. So please excuse me if I happen to just veer off course of what we're talking about. And I promise y'all, I'm going to try to bring it back. I do apologize if that gets on your nerves and whatnot. Please just bear with me. That's all I want to say on that.
My dog. I'm in the same boat. Don't feel bad at all. All right, and all right. So thanks once again. Thanks for joining us. It kind of sucks that Tech couldn't join us himself as well. So hopefully we can get him in another time. So moving on to Diamond. Thanks for joining us.
Oh no, thank you guys for actually having me. I'm really excited to be here. I'm a huge Xbox fan. This is gonna be super fun.
Yes.
Yes. A little bit about me. I am a Twitch streamer. I'm also really good friends with Tech, and he's invited me on his podcast twice. Nelson wasn't there the first time I was on, but I'm a huge Xbox supporter, huge Microsoft fan. I've been known to go on some very good and informative tangents about Xbox and how it's the superior console.
Yes, bring it.
Bring it.
Y'all are in the right place, so do not apologize. Do not feel bad. You have come in the right place. All right. Well, once again, thanks for joining us. A shame Tech couldn't join us. So, being that y'all are the first, Diamond, you came in first. So, go ahead and hit us with a topic that comes to mind, and just we'll go ahead and chew on that, and then pass it on to Mr. Nelson.
All right. So, something that I actually read about today that I actually found out is that Xbox is actually bringing cloud gaming to their systems and to Android phones and tablets. And they actually launched today on November 18th. They launched in Japan, Australia, Brazil, and Mexico.
Oh,
and actually it's an early release. right now, so only select people are actually able to sign up for the preview of it.
Oh yeah, and the
Nice.
man, yes, the man for this right here, Mr. ODT.
That's my job, isn't it? Oh my god. No, that's awesome. Congratulations to Microsoft and the Xbox. We're gonna have a way more player count than normal, and everybody's gonna be like, "Yo, where's all this coming from? It doesn't come from consoles."
Project X Cloud, man, it's
Like-
coming.
Right.
Like,
Correct.
I don't understand this.
I-
You guys ain't got no consoles out there. They're like, yeah, we don't, but we got players.
True. Microsoft and Xbox taking over the world one day at a time.
Well, everybody actually, I saw my Steam and Twitter timeline the other day that we're getting ready for World of Warcraft launches on our Series X models, which is going to be dope.
Ooh,
Mm.
World of
I never-
Warcraft. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, all right, we're getting there, one step at a time, one diagram at a time, one grid at a time. Just got to add one device at a time.
true.
I've never been in the World of Warcraft, but I probably might check it out this time. So
Well,
But,
I think we can all live in a universe where we all play on one grid, just on different lobbies. That's not that hard to imagine. Just imagine you're watching Ready Player One on your screen.
yeah. So
I got
Yeah.
a question about that, T Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so lately people have been complaining about the NBA 2K21 having like 100-player max cap. And I believe PlayStation is already on Azure servers. But do kind of like what the CFO just said about what do you say about Bethesda games? They might perform the best on Xbox. Do you see Xbox still being on Azure and having a higher server count? Is that like a thing, or would they just maximize them for both consoles?
I think once we get into the Infinity Cache registration across all servers and across all devices, we're gonna see the lobbies maximization open up.
Mm.
But we gotta get the Infinity Cache CPU chips across everything first, and especially if you want to plug Sony's PS5s into the Azure grid to make sure everything doesn't flatline crash everywhere. That's probably a smart idea too.
Mm.
Very true.
we just
Yeah.
lost Nelson.
Oh,
Oh shit!
he'll be back. Give him a minute. He'll be back.
Nelson, no.
He'll come back eventually. I promise.
Oh shoot.
But yeah, I saw that Call of Duty was like having their player count screwed with, and then you had the NBA thing as you just mentioned. But everybody's just trying to fluctuate the grid maximization on all the speeds across everything. See what works.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just kind of surprised about that. With Azure, I just assumed everything would be a lot higher. But yes, I guess it'll take a little bit of time.
Yeah. Plus, we still got that entire Africa grid section missing to be connected to everything else.
I remember you talking about that.
Yep.
But we're almost there because we're almost done with the moon station above us.
Yeah, but by the way, this guy right here, ODT, don't F with him when it comes to talking about 5G, 6G, Wi-Fi, network, Azure. No, he's the man for that. So
no, that I think considering Xbox is like practically everywhere now, you can't get enough of Xbox. I can see why people are getting a little bit salty, too much so. But now it's the number one thing to be consumer friendly about. It's a positive thing.
Yep.
Oh, and the video game awards is tonight, right?
Are they
Wait.
tonight?
It is.
Is it?
Or no, December 10th. Sorry, that's still December 10th.
Okay, good Lord, I was about to say, wait a minute.
No, I was watching Jeff Keighley like go off about it. I was like, oh, damn, that guy looks miserable now.
He's like, why won't Xbox go away? He's like Jim Carrey and Batman. Why can't Sony kill you? Because we're rich. Like 1.2 trill, baby. But
yeah, I think it's the registration that opened up tonight for the video games. The voter registration.
Oh,
you can go in and vote what games you want to win.
I still think it's going to be the Last of Us 2 category that wins everything.
Yeah, pretty much, because I mean they got the bigger fan base, so. But which is so odd, because they'll go in there voting, but when you ask most of them if they played the game, the answer is probably most likely no.
No, because it's all like a cheerleader section for them instead of an actual player section. Although I saw Doom Eternal actually won a lot of nominations this time around. Good for them.
Oh, they're probably going to snub anything from Bethesda now because of that, because of the buyout.
Yeah, and then still got some games released between December and like March.
All right, but yeah, like I said, I've seen the cloud thing being launched in Japan, and we talked about it actually last Friday, but it's still, I guess it's still kind of like, throws me off, because I could have swore it was like already already a thing over there in Japan, but it's going to be real big, especially for over there, because as everybody already knows, they're pretty much primarily a mobile device,
right?
Gaming community. So this is actually one of the best ways that Phil in the game can actually go ahead and penetrate that market, because for some odd reason, when it comes to the hardware, it just doesn't perform for some odd reason. Well, the thing is, I can already tell you the reasons, but a lot of people get kind of upset about it. So, but I mean, it's the truth. I mean, they're very nationalistic minded people. But the thing is, I'm going to borrow this from Mr. Nelson. Bear that in mind. That despite this, there's actually a bit of a change coming, and I don't know if everybody's been noticing it, but the mindset of the Japanese gaming community is slowly drifting away from the hometown hero, which was Sony. I mean, they're still predominantly Nintendo. You're not going to sway them off Nintendo for nothing,
right?
But there's been a lot of things that Sony has done or has been doing that's kind of like starting to kind of like shift their attention to, like, you know what? Let's see what this Gaijin box is all about. Let's see what's going on over there. It's starting to shift now. And I just, the thing is like, just go ahead and like, get off this tangent. My only hope with is, as badly as Phil and Aaron and all them want that market and stuff, I hope they're going to apply the effort to get it. Because it's one thing to say you want it. It's one thing to be happy saying that, oh, hey, we sold over 20,000 pre-orders. That's one thing, but it's another thing to go ahead and be like, okay, we got this system over there. They're liking it. Now, what can we feed into it to like keep them engaged?
Right.
We got to get this in Game Pass, because one of the things is like, and see, being a indie developer myself, I mean, granted, I've been in a bit of a hiatus. I also have Japanese indie developers that are friends of mine that are over there, and one of the things that they always go on about is that is, I guess, one of the things that kind of like, kind of makes them kind of hold off from going to Xbox, and this is way before Game Pass and stuff, is that because they don't see other games like theirs on the platform, they don't know what they I guess you could say they don't have something to gauge with as to whether or not there's any merit of doing it.
Right.
They want, and so basically what I'm getting at is,
yeah, but that's because the Japanese video game market has always been on anything on that side of the pond, and everything on North American, it's always been hit or miss. So sometimes that works, and then sometimes it don't work. Final Fantasy, for example, or your Kingdom Hearts, for example, big example actually. And but then you'll have other ones that just go straight out the window. So then they basically just copy Nintendo, and everything else works.
yeah. So,
but then when you basically put that niche out there for too long, but then it just keeps falling flat, short of Sony's expectations, the fans might be like, "Oh, Xbox is actually improving. Let's try this."
Yeah. So hopefully it's this is something that's going to change, courtesy of Game Pass.
Right.
Because I believe that's going to be the big difference maker right there. So
I agree. I feel like that's going to be a big help to kind of push in the xCloud, definitely in those other countries, because then the people are more likely, I think, to try and play, at least give it a chance, because they'll get more games than having like to get the service and actually get games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, and the thing, and one of the biggest things which I saw was a complaint from a few of them, was that they were more concerned about whether or not people were even touching their games.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the issues that they were even having, even with PlayStation, whereas like they may put the game out there, they may actually go through the extra effort of having it, localized for the Western market, but ultimately it, sales wise, it doesn't perform the way they want. For example, our good friends, with Level 5, they're hurting real bad, to the point to where they've been letting people go left and right and closing their offices because they're just not making the money. And so they're going as far as like just not just getting away from porting games over to Western audiences, but just getting out of console development, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really hate to see that happen. I mean, granted that they were always predominantly PlayStation, they're still a solid developer that I would hate to see all of a sudden just vanish along with their IPs. So hopefully I'm just hoping that they're one of those considerations of of a Japanese grab that Microsoft might consider, because I really feel that because I mean that level of talent and creativity, and to be able to work hand in hand with, of all people, Studio Ghibli for your designs, your animations, I could really see them really benefiting with having the backing of Microsoft.
And I agree to that. And, something, and just excuse me again, to give a quick plug in real quick. Again, this is something similar to an extent we've covered in, again, to the Technical Difficulties podcast, and I want to bring it over here now, because something interesting is that if you look at how, like for instance, right, if you look how Microsoft has moved in the last 10 years in comparison to Sony at the beginning of when we had the Xbox One S and the PlayStation 4. Now, the thing is this: Xbox did not have a great start, and they struggled. Again, I'm saying from an objective standpoint, they struggled.
Mm-hmm. Oh no!
And the thing is,
definitely.
And then when you look at Sony or PlayStation 4, they thrived for many years. And the thing is this, I applaud Microsoft for what they've been doing these past few years, because you could even say they've almost to a certain point have done a rebranding of themselves, and not just in the concept of their console, but more so just what does it mean to put your money to their services? What does it mean to support them? And I think they've done a lot of initiative in trying to rebuild their brand and make it mean something.
True.
Now, Sony, on the other hand, because they've gone so comfortable, and again, y'all, I'm not saying from a subjective standpoint, I'm saying from an objective standpoint. Again, plenty of examples out there for y'all to see for yourselves. And in fact, I'm glad that Reaper had brought up about Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is the perfect example of what I'm going to get at here. Because here's the thing. If you've ever played the series, and I'm talking about way back in the day, it started off on the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, up to after Kingdom Hearts 2, it was primarily more so on mobile platforms. Say like you had Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which was on the Dreamcast. You had other games like the Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Yes, I know these games, y'all.
Oh, Dreamcast. Oh, you must mean the dual screen.
Yeah.
On the Nintendo DS.
Dual screen.
Yeah. And the thing is this: over time, if you notice, again, the people who make Kingdom Hearts is a Japanese company, Square Enix. So think about this. For a long time, that franchise has been on Japanese-centered consoles or platforms. Now, here's the thing. When Kingdom Hearts 3 finally made its debut, or his announcement trailer, some people were thrown off. I was one of those people who were thrown off when I saw at the bottom, where they'll show what platforms these games will be available on.
Yeah.
I was thrown off when I saw Xbox, because I was like, Xbox? What? It threw me off. Nothing against Xbox, but it was like, that just felt weird. But you know what? Over time, I thought to myself, you know what? If this expands the player base and it gives people the opportunity to experience this, franchise that I love dearly in my heart, then more power to Xbox getting this on their platform. But here's the important thing I want to say to y'all, is that this franchise has what you would call not remasters, but remixes, where they have additional content with the pre-existing content they had beforehand. And I do want you to understand, and again, if y'all never heard of this franchise before, the thing is, these remixes were available on Japan for many years before they ever came to the West. And I want you to also bear in mind, there you go. And also, boss, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna let this for everyone in the on the panel right now. If y'all gonna use my phrase, I'm fine with it. But you gonna have to throw you gotta cash at me a quarter real quick, okay? I gotta get some money off that. Yes, a quarter. But to get to my point being, is they were available for many years on the PlayStation 2. Now here's the thing: the remixes have come on PlayStation 3 and moved to PlayStation 4. Now here's the thing: you're telling me that you were able to get these games that started on PlayStation 2, you got them to PlayStation 3, and then you got them to PlayStation 4. But you're telling me from the time that Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced, right? And it took many years before it was finally put on the market. You're telling me all that time, you never were able to get the remixes onto Microsoft's platform or Xbox platform. All that time, all those years going on in its development, you're telling me they weren't able to do that? And here's the crazy part, y'all. If you go on the Game Pass, Kingdom Hearts
they're there now.
3,
They're now.
They're there now. But here's the crazy part. They are there after Kingdom Hearts 3 was released. Afterwards. Not before, But afterwards, now, so I want y'all to think about this. Why, and I'm looking at this from the perspective of Microsoft, why would Microsoft want a game or a franchise on their platform if we cannot get all the games that is prior within that entry to get us caught up on the side of Microsoft? Because let's say if I never played Kingdom Hearts before, right? I never played it. And if you were trying to suggest to me to play 3, but I've never touched the previous installments, it would make no sense. Especially for your first time. You wouldn't have that connection of the characters. You wouldn't know what it meant to have Donald and Goofy in your team. It wouldn't make sense to you why certain rivalries exist within the game or why certain friendships exist, right? You wouldn't understand that.
It's all over the place as it is already.
Right. It would be all over the place and it would leave a bad taste in some people's mouths. So the thing is this. You're telling me that you're telling me no one at Microsoft at any point in time ever called Square Enix, tried to say, hey, can we make a deal to where we can get the remixes on the platform before Kingdom Hearts 3 drops? You're telling me no one at any point in time since it was that reveal trailer was out in 2012, y'all, 2012, if I remember correctly. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong here. From that point on to 2019, when that game was released, you're telling me in that time span of about 7 years, you're telling me no one was able to convince Square Enix to release these remixes onto Microsoft's platform, Xbox platform? I'm sorry, miss me with all that. Because here's the thing. You got to remember, y'all, that Sony and Nintendo are Japanese-based companies at the end of the day. I can understand how, yes, there is certain business transactions that are possible because X, Y, and Z of people know each other. And because of that, and again, I've said this before on the Technical Difficulties podcast, I would love to be that fly on the wall so I can understand where do these mindsets come from? How do these certain deals manifest themselves? Because again, at the end of the day, Sony, as far as I'm concerned, did no favor for the fandom. Think about this. If you consider Kingdom Hearts to be such a well-renowned game that has been on your platform for several decades, you're telling me, or for over a decade, let me say that, for over a decade, you're telling me that you would get in the way. And hold on, y'all, let me say this. I'm not saying for a fact they did these things. I'm just trying to paint a picture with y'all real quick. But again, I'm trying to make sure you understand that these things are out there for you to see. They're clear as day. You just got to follow these breadcrumbs. But here's the thing. If you really did care about the franchise, you would not step in. In fact, if you were about the franchise, you would go out your way to say, hey, tap on Square Enix's shoulder and say, hey, I know me and Xbox, we don't rock with each other all the time like that, but let's see what we can do about getting these remixes on their platform for the fandom, for the player base, for the people who rock with this franchise. That's the thing. They didn't do us no favors.
To grow it, rather.
Thank you, sir.
They don't even do crossplay, man. I don't think they just came around on crossplay. So I definitely don't think they're into that. But I do think that has changed. I think Kingdom Hearts is a great example, because that was a game that had to be changed from the ground up. They were developing it in-house, and they had to switch to Unreal Engine, which of course is American-based software. And they were saying, from a development standpoint, that was a huge change for them to shift and use those tools. So they had to change from the ground up, and then we see stuff like all of the SquareSoft games coming to Game Pass. So they are. I think it was a little bit of both Sony, kind of coating their pockets and having it not come over there, but also just kind of the old Japanese mindset of keeping their stuff with a Japanese platform, which makes sense. But they've had to change that, and they are expanding now, which is, like you're saying, it's a great thing for the fandom.
Yes, and one thing I do want to say before I end my thoughts on this is this: if you notice the way that Microsoft has carried themselves over the years, is that they've been not, I wouldn't say quote unquote snatching up smaller studios, but I would say they are strategically trying to obtain certain studios that, let's say in the long run, if the way that business is being handled, at least on Sony's side, continues to prosperate, a lot of these smaller, not all smaller studios are going to suffer, but certain ones that have that potential, that have great people within those studios, are going to suffer. They're going to be just swept under the rug. And so I think over the time, I think Microsoft has started to understand this. And so the thing is this: yes, Microsoft, for people who go about, oh, they don't have exclusive this, exclusive that, let me say this. At the end of the day, when we get these consoles, there's two ways we have to look at them, or we have to approach them. Yes, we get the game, we get these systems for the games that can be on them, sure, but we also have to look at the services that are provided on these particular platforms. The thing is this: Microsoft has been working towards improving their platform far more than Sony has. And in fact, if you think about it, not to go too much on a tangent, but the thing is this: the PS Plus collection is something that should have been, if not in the midst of the mid lifespan of the PS4, it should have been towards the beginning. Do you know how much that would have revolutionized just how Sony would have started in that particular generation? I'm not gonna say they would have blown. No games. Right. I'm not saying Microsoft would have been blown out of the water, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, these studios, at the end of the day, look, I understand that you want to rep your homeland and you want to, keep certain things indoors. I can understand that. But here's the thing: you're going to get to a point where it's a do or die situation. And the thing is this: if Microsoft is going out their way to extend an olive branch versus the people who are in your own hometown, who are being hard-headed, then the thing is this: you're going to have to acknowledge, either I'm going to do or I'm going to die. Either I'm going to do what I need to do to make these connections work, or I'm going to die on the streets with no food, no clothing, no housing, because of X, Y, and Z want to be, let me not say, again, stubborn.
Hey, what's up, Ray?
Necessarily. Good evening to you, sir. But just for some reason want to be stuck in their ways. And again, that's not going to benefit us as the consumers in the gaming industry as a whole. It's not going to benefit us as at a whole, as far as I'm personally concerned. But I'm in my thoughts on that point.
It's not going to benefit anybody, especially them. See, the thing is that what we're seeing over there, as far as the game development community goes, and even the player base, is that you'll hear me and others say it, but if you haven't noticed it yourself, we're on the cusp of a new age. And I don't mean oh, it's next gen. No, I mean the mindsets over there are starting to shift now. And that old mind, as you was just talking about, that old mindset is not paying the bills no more. Because remember what I just said a few minutes ago about somebody as prevalent as Level 5. Level 5 is on the verge of closing their doors. There's probably many more of them over there on the verge of closing their doors, because just as you just stated, they have that pride, that unshakable stone Japanese pride is going to have to crumble if you want to survive now. And nobody wants to reduce themselves to having to go, deliver boxes and flipping burgers and stuff like that from being a CEO, and all of a sudden, working in KFC. Nobody is trying to do that over here, or even especially over there. And that's the situation that they're going to have to consider. Like like for example, the developers of Genshin Impact. You know, I'm sure that's a prideful moment of them to be able to like get on that one Japanese publication and just loud as day toot that, oh, this is never going to Xbox. Oh, okay, well, cool, good for you. I mean, that's your baby, that's your decision. Nobody can shake you in that. But at the end of the day, by the end of I want to say going into next year, we want to see if you can keep that same energy, because if you have investors and stuff like that, investors are not going to want to hear that, because one thing, like I try to explain to people, especially my team, when we was looking for outside funding, is that you need to understand about investors. They gives two damns about your scope and your vision. The whole name of the game of investment is to make money. And oh, hey, you made back double what you put in. That's considered, to an investor, that's considered a failure. That's grounds for them having a board meeting and making considerations of replacing you. They want triple or more. It sounds it sounds unrealistic, but no, it's actually pretty realistic. When they're giving you up to $1 million, they're expecting you to perform. And so that's why, so the likes of like Genshin, Capcom, you notice Capcom all of a sudden, that one, well, I don't know if any of y'all heard the rumor a few months back where Street Fighter 6 was looking to be locked down by Sony. Yeah, that rumor is getting flipped on its head now. It may have to come to Xbox.
I just saw something today of a screenshot, a screenshot tease of it coming to Xbox, Street Fighter 6.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was real or but it looked pretty real.
I mean, in the end, we'll find out, and stuff like that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, investors don't want to hear that. Back in the day, in the 90s and the early 2000s, they could get away with that. But the whole Japanese gaming is king mentality is going slowly down the toilet now. So they have to.
Maybe if they actually work together and build up some Pokemon Go games, maybe they can actually build up, gotta catch them all mentality again. But gotta keep that energy, right?
Yeah. So I mean, but yeah. So like I said, it's changing, and I'm just really hoping that Phil and all them are going to be on the ground, like it's the Red Cross after the disaster. They're on the ground, sandbags, MRE packs, medical packs, just on the ground saying, what do you need? That's all they need to do is, what do you need? Because another thing is that Japan has, unlike over here on this side of the hemisphere, indie gaming is highly celebrated. And I mean, they're not even AAA, but they're treated at times as if they're AAA. Over there, they don't get those indies over there. They don't get that same level of shine. And that's what frustrates them so much, is that they got these prevalent companies such as Sony and Nintendo there, and they won't even really look at them. And they're right there on their doorstep. So hopefully, like I said, Microsoft really hits that hard and doesn't just be on the soapbox, just speaking just to speak, and actually be like, you know what, let's go ahead and make a world publishing branch over there, and see if any of these guys take an interest in seeing what we're offering. But at the same time, definitely look to grab some studios, because one of my thoughts as to why they started doing this mass grabbing is not so much as to lock down, making sure they have content on the box, because the old way they were doing it, they could have kept doing it that way. and still have games on the box. But the problem is that there would have been no guarantees of keeping that product from going to the other camp. And then there's the other situation, which I want to say that I think our good friends at Platinum Games was the straw that broke the camel's back as far as Microsoft ever doing that again.
Got screwed.
Yeah, I want to say that I think it was thanks to Mr. Kamiya and the boys that Phil and Sadia were like, yeah, we're not doing that no more. From now on, it's either we own the product, we own the studio, or no dice. But like I said, but that's just my thoughts on that. So, going off of that rant, moving right along. Emmanuel, any thing you? Well, let's see. Hold on. Diamond, you did yours. Mr. Nelson, you did yours, right?
Not yet.
Okay, yeah. Your topic, sir.
Yes. And hold on. Let me get my thoughts together.
Because we bring a bunch of stuff.
Yes, sir. We did. And what I do want to specifically bring up in this particular podcast, some of these people who stoke the fire of this quote unquote console war are some of these folks aren't even necessarily really associated with a particular company. They just want to see the world burn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I want to ask y'all on the panel right now, and also for the people who happen to be on chat, I want to ask y'all this. What are some realistic, right? We can also share some idealistic, methods, but I'm looking for more factual ones or more concrete means of creating a better community for the whole industry, not just specifically for Microsoft or Sony, but for all of us. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what particular company you quote unquote rep and whatever reason you do so, is for, again, be it if it's objective or subjective, it's of your own Felicia. But at the end of the day, we're all gamers. We all enjoy games. We have different genres of games that, some people like, some people don't like. But at the end of the day, we are for this platform, right? We are here for the artistry of this platform, for the conversations, the fears, the love, the emotions that can come from these platforms. So I think ultimately, and like you just said, boss, we are shifting into a new age. And I would say this, for us willing to put our voices out into the world, we don't just need to talk about it. We need to invoke change. We need to bring it and be realistic. So for anyone who listens to this podcast, I would hope that whatever you take from this podcast, you can implement it in your own life and be an example unto others. Now, it may not reach everybody. That's fair. But we got to start somewhere. And yes, even when we start somewhere in the middle, we may stop. But if we started it, we should have the capacity to finish it. But acknowledge that, yes, there might be points of times where we might have to pause something. That's fair. But let's not lose track that if we can start something, we can finish it. So that's why I want to pose that question to y'all. Again, I want to rephrase it again, because, again, my ramble made it get lost in my ramble. What I want to ask is, what are some realistic means or methods or tactics or strategies that we can implement in this day and age to at least try to make a mutual neutral, or say a mutual Switzerland in the gaming industry? How can we do that? And, our own personal capacity, how can we start that? That's the question I want to pose to you.
Well, realistically, you're never going to be able to get rid of all the trolls. That's unfortunately not. But the thing is this, though. I can attest to seeing this happen before my eyes in real time. All right. Now, for anybody who's gone all the way back through my videos to my introduction, because I just started doing this and everything. originally I was not an Xbox fan. All right. But I wasn't a Sony fan either. But the thing was that I did, I was on the Sony platform for a while, floating between that one and Nintendo. The one thing I noticed when I finally got my hands on my first 360, my first actual Xbox console, is that the community at first on I want to say like the early 2 or 3 years of the 360 online was toxic. I mean,
2005 to 2007.
Yeah, and on the play, but the thing is, it's like when PlayStation finally decided to do online themselves, it was just as bad. But here's the thing: what I noticed, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know who dropped the marker for the artillery strike. But that toxicity disappeared almost overnight over on the Xbox side. And from what I'm to understand is this was a joint effort, not just by Microsoft themselves, but by the community. The community and both Microsoft just came together and said enough was enough. And they 86 them trolls the hell up out of it. And every once in a while, because there's some names I do recognize, there'll be some that you'll see them on a forum posting like, yeah, I still can't get on live, and it's like, good God, this was like 5 years ago. And to me, it's like, well, just change your name to something else and behave yourself. Right? That if you was causing trouble under that old login, you're not gonna come back as that, because you're gonna have to be a different person doing different things. Now, ever since they did that, I've really, really embraced the Xbox community more than ever. And it officially became my home. Now, over on the PlayStation side, it was like somebody just left the orangutan cage open. And it was just savagery left and right. And the thing about it is like, to be fair, it's not all of them. That's what makes this so frustrating. It's not all of them. There's a good bit of legitimate PlayStation fans that are all about just wanting to play and enjoy their games. And heck, even some of them might be like, hey, I'm actually liking how their Gears is looking. I might try that out. And they're not being savages about it, But for example, like in the case of Tech, shout out to him. He got him his PlayStation 5. He's enjoying his Miles Morales, and I've looked at your videos and I haven't seen him like throw like one bit of shade, at Xbox or anything like that. He's enjoying his game. There's no toxicity.
Yeah.
So basically, where I'm going with this, so I can go ahead and pass this on, is that I believe that in order, because we're not, let's be real. There's trolls on both sides of the fence. I don't think from my own account of counting and stuff like that, and maybe there's some, I'll admit, maybe there's some numbers I'm missing. The numbers of trolls are not as high over on the Xbox fence as it is over on the Sony fence. All right. So where I'm going at is that maybe this is one of those cases where maybe their legitimate fan base, the ones that don't, just go completely monkey, and just throw shit on everything. Maybe they should take a note from the early 2000 Xbox 360 fan base and say, you know what, enough is enough. Y'all are gonna have to kind of buckle down. You're making us look like chumps. You're making us look like fools. Y'all need to cut this mess. Well, we sold more than that. That's not the point. They're enjoying their games. We're enjoying our games. Why can't that just be that?
Mm-hmm.
That's to me, I think that's what needs to happen is these legitimate fans that just love gaming, period, just need to do like what we did back then and just rise up and say enough is enough. Because to me, I think that's the only way it's going to. I ain't gonna say go away. Let's be realistic about it.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that it's going to be severely reduced compared to what it is now. Is that the first step has to be within. And
yes, sir.
And it has to be that community admitting that, okay, maybe we got a bit of a problem here. And maybe we should kind of address this. And then that also falls on Sony, because for it to have policed up and get as good as it is on Xbox, where we even got PlayStation fans coming over saying, wow, I love your community. I love it way more. It was a two-step process where it was community and company. So for Sony, community, and it's going to have to be the company themselves. Because as you were saying earlier, Mr. Nelson, about how Sony seems to have gotten a bit comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that that's the situation that we're dealing with. Because see, dude, one of the reasons, at least to me, that I think Sony doesn't bother saying anything when it comes to any marketing, what's the point? They got a house of knights that are quick to armor up and sword up and jump right into the fray without even knowing who the enemy is. They'll just jump right in, sword swinging. They ain't got to say nothing. But the thing is that for the sake of company image, for the sake of wanting to see a I guess you say a better online experience for customers, especially young ones,
Mm-hmm.
to think, okay, maybe this has gone on a little too far. Maybe we need to kind of like, it's like we hate to be heavy-handed because that'd make us look like bad guys, but at the same time, this has gone too far. Because I'm sure Microsoft had those same fears as well, where it's like, whoa, we really don't want to be, come off as being, these heavy-handed, assholes or anything. We really don't want to be like that. But at the end of the day, it's like when you're getting all these red flags and all these reports and all these inappropriate messages, derogatory statements, you're just trying to enjoy, your Call of Duty or your Halo match, and you got, dude talking about, LOL, this and that. It gets tiring. And people are like, oh, you got to have thick skin. It's like, dude, I'm old. All right. I'm old. All right. I'm up there in my age. And all of us, I would like to imagine that all of us, if not working a full-time job, is probably a full-time student. You got enough troubles as it is already. And when you come home to get on your game, you get on your game to escape reality.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
You get on your game, or you get, or you veg out on the couch with TV or movies to escape the crap that you just came in from. And Lord knows you probably got more crap coming at you just from your family alone.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got to deal with somebody else's crap. And more than 9 times out of 10, a lot of them doing that because they are having a shit day themselves. And the only thing they know is to take it out on you. And you got nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
I can definitely understand that.
And real quick, Diamond, I just want to say this real quick. Diamond, don't forget to make sure, because I know you told your story about your experience with PlayStation on, again, technical difficulties. I want you to share that also on here too, because what he just said made me think of that. So I want you, when you get your chance to say what you gotta say, make sure you bring that up. But go ahead.
All right. But yeah, so but just like I said a few podcasts back when I first came onto this, I believe last I looked, I think it got, I mean, manhandled by the dislikes. But the thing is, I was speaking the truth. At the end of the day, for any of you who are watching or will watch this later, I'm going to pose this question to you. After pulling the bullshittery that you do, ask yourself the question. At the end of the day, do you feel any better? Be completely honest with yourself. Did you feel any better? If you have to hesitate and think about it, then the answer is no. It did not fix your problem. It did not make it go away. So the only thing I'm gonna leave it at this. The only thing I'm getting at is that if it's not going to make someone else feel any better, and it's not going to make you feel any better, it's probably best just to not do it.
Yes, sir. And real quick, I do want to just touch on what he just said, and let me rephrase it a little bit for some people who may be a little confused with what he just said. Well, essentially, he's just getting at, and by all means, he's a grown man. He can say what he got to say. But again, this is just in case someone might, for some whatever reason, just can't get what he's trying to say. At the end of the day, if your actions are more towards the nature of negativity rather than that of positivity, does this benefit you in the long term or in the short term? Because ideally, you want to be more in the realm of long term improvements versus the short term. Because it has a short life. It has a short fuse to it. It's not going to last long. And I would think you would want to put your energy towards things that are going to improve your livelihood and the people around you or in your influence in the long term. But I just want to state that real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so that's basically it exactly, and that's basically all I'm getting at. Whereas like so many of them turn that negative energy towards the Xbox community and stuff like that. Instead of doing that, why not turn that energy inside and start asking better of your own community? That's because that's how the Xbox community got as golden as it is, and it's still getting better. It's not 100% perfect, but it's getting better almost every day because of the fact that we bothered to say something. We stood up and said something. Tuck, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us.
How y'all fellas doing today? Y'all doing okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're joined by two guests today, Miss Diamond and also Mr. Nelson right there.
Hey, Mr. Nelson, how you doing, Mr. Diamond?
Hi.
I'm doing fine, sir. How about you?
So far, so good, man. Just enjoying life.
But
that's about all.
But you know what? But matter of fact, Tuck. I would love to hear Tuck's take on this. Go ahead and rephrase your question for Tuck, who just came in.
Yes, sir. So the question I had just posed to the panel and also to, excuse me, to the people in the chat is, what are some realistic methods or strategies or say tactics that we can utilize going into this new age within the gaming industry as a whole? What can we do to essentially establish our own Switzerland or a neutral space that we can all come together, be it in a private or a public setting, to hash out these issues that are going on right now? And also to point out something that Boss had said earlier in this discussion is, again, we also have to recognize there are always going to be trolls. And I've said this previously in the Technical Difficulties podcast, is ultimately, y'all, I have nothing against people who want to troll lightheartedly. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I think that the concept of thick skin comes in. If you're taking something that's supposed to be lighthearted, have thick skin, that makes sense. But again, there's a difference between someone who wants to be lighthearted with their comedy, even if it's dark humor, and someone who wants to just see the world burn. But I just want to clarify that for a moment. But sir, go ahead.
Okay, so you talking about like dealing with the Xbox community?
I'm saying as a whole. Be it if it's on Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, just as a whole in gaming, what can we do?
Oh, dude, I don't even bring up Nintendo because they other than maybe 5 people, they stay in their lane, and that is
True.
and that's why I never have an issue with them. But yeah, Tuck, just to kind of add to it, as I told him and stuff like that, is that just like how in the early 2000s when the 360 first came about, how the Xbox community was out of control for a good bit. It took both Microsoft themselves and the community to work together to get them jokers the hell up out of there. And it's like they fixed it overnight. So my thing is like, like that's what I feel that the Sony side of the fence needs to do, is that the legitimate fans that they have there that are all about the game, and regardless of what the platform it is, because they do have them, is that they're the ones that need to do like what we did. They need to stand up and say, look, this is out of control. Y'all making us look like damn fools. And it's not just them, because it's community and company. Sony needs to like, stop just sitting there and just letting it happen, and go ahead and say something themselves and be like, look, you guys are gonna have to, kind of like, get this together, because you're really starting to make us look like the toxic swamp.
Right.
But sorry, Tuck.
Well, my whole thing about this thing is like this. Okay, Sony gonna do what they want to do. Sony is just big bullies to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't do nothing about that, because Sony's going to do what they're going to do. But I say us as a community, we just need to keep it to the gamers, to the real gamers, real. Just keep it real with them. I mean, it's like the other dog on that. I mean, we get these people that come in and just, and just, just bash the Xbox, and then then they start taking it real personal, and we just talk about gaming. We ain't talking about nothing else but gaming, but we're keeping it real. We keeping it real on both ends. It's just like the other doggone day, like the other day when me and you had our thing, boss. I mean, we just told people straight up, if you having trouble out of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, don't listen to these YouTubers. Call Microsoft, call Sony, and just tell them that you're having issues with your console. I mean, it's just that simple. It's not nothing, but you got so many people that just want to, it's just, you got so many YouTubers just out there, just out there just to do clickbait material.
Right.
It's just sickening. I mean, and we're just real gamers. I mean, we it's like, okay, don't get me wrong. I don't like I would never buy a Sony, a PlayStation, because, and the reason why I will never ever buy another PlayStation is because I play majority of my friends on the PlayStation. Ain't no sense in me having 2 systems just to satisfy and say, well, I got to have them both. I don't have to have both systems just to make a point. But you get these people out here, oh, well, you got to have both systems to have a point. No, you don't. All you got to do is sit and read and just make common sense out of the deal.
Right.
Just make common sense. I mean, it's not no big deal. It's not about just pick the console that you want.
Right.
And let that be that. Because see, I had a PS3, and and the only thing it did was collect dust. The only time when I used that damn PS3, and I'm being truthful, the only time when I used that PS3 was when my wife was doing her little exercise. Outside of that, it wasn't getting no love. Because the main reason wasn't going to get no love from me, because I know Sony that told all these lies. And Sony will lie. Let's get this straight. I'm over here thinking that home is going to be like live, and home wasn't nothing like live. Because that's the reason why I hung in there with Sony, because I said, okay, they said it's going to be like live. Was it nothing like live?
Home was lit. Home was lit, man. I hate they dropped that.
Right. But the thing about it is they dropped it because they really wasn't doing nothing with it. But the main thing I wanted them for home to be like, I wanted to be like live, where I could communicate with the people that I talk to every single day. I mean, you got to look at this, y'all. Xbox then just started all this stuff up with this communication with everybody. The PC was doing it, but not like this. Oh, heck no, they wasn't doing it like this where you could communicate with each other. I mean, Xbox the one that started everything off. As far as I'm concerned, it's just the truth. And I know these Sony ponies are butthurt about it, but hey, you know, it is what it is. But I'm not even going to sit here and talk about them. The big thing is that us as a community, all we got to do is just talk about gaming and keep it real. And just keep it real. And that's all it is to it, because at the end of the doggone day, we playing video games, guys.
Mhm.
We playing video games. And that's all it is to it. Whether it's Sony, PlayStation, I mean, if we can get some PlayStation people that make logical common sense on everything that's going on with both these systems, hey, I'm gladly to have the conversation with them. But you know how that goes. These Sony ponies, they don't think logic. They don't. They just think about their system. That's it. I mean, it's like, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, they always try to fight the narrative on Xbox and all that stuff. So, you know, but I'm glad to see what Xbox are doing. They doing things the right way this time. I love it the way they're doing things. You know, I think Phil Spencer, I think the whole doggone Microsoft club is doing a good job. I know they gave away some free consoles, but what people got to understand is that those people that got those free consoles, they got the hookup and they got the hookup on the inside. So it's not like Microsoft just gave it to them for free.
Right.
It's not like they just came out in the street and said, "Well, Microsoft, let us have some free consoles." The people knew them, and that's how they got them. So, yes, do I think some small YouTubers should have got some? Yes, I do. But if you don't got the hookup and you don't have the know-how, you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's all I got to say about that. But I do think us as gamers, we just need to keep it real. Ain't no fakery about it. Just keep it real, and that's it.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say about that.
Agreed.
yeah. Thanks, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? ODT? What do you think?
I think that the best option is always that mute button that's right at your fingertips.
Boy, you sick. You are sick. Boy, you sick.
There's also that kick button, everybody. It's worked since 2005.
Yep. What about you, Emmanuel?
You know, I like the console wars, man. I think they should keep going. But I do think there's a fine line between, I think there's acceptable console war and then, of course, harassment. Harassment is not fine. All the console warring, talking shit. Yeah, we got to keep that going. That's part of gaming culture.
Yeah.
But I think
that's why there's a mute and a kick button.
Yeah. If you can't handle it, you just got to cut it out.
Yeah,
I can definitely understand that.
Yeah,
but I do think
that's one of the reasons I don't bother going onto any of those podcasts or those videos. There's no point.
Yeah. I do think something that's helping with that, and I think we're going to see a lot more that's going into this current. Gotta get used to saying that this current generation is crossplay and cross saving. The more we crossplay, we're going to actually see everyone plays their games. It doesn't matter what console you're on. Some people use stuff like Among Us. They're playing on mobile phones and PlayStations. So it's going to just be about, can you game? Can you play the game? That's what it's going to be about. That's what it needs to be about.
That's what it needs to be about anyway, like you said.
Yeah.
But you know what? But fellas, this is my biggest thing. Okay, I don't mind people talking about gaming and all that stuff, but it's like last week. It's like last Saturday. You know, I was on my way home and I was listening to Sega Man's podcast with Hebot. The first thing that this guy that talked about was Sega Man. I mean, was talking about Sega Man's kids. Dude, I don't tolerate that crap, man. See, that's one thing. You just take it across the line when you talk about somebody's kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to come in with me, fine, but don't come in with nobody's kids because you don't want nobody to do that to you. So that guy who turned around, I mean, we don't even know who that guy was, but you know, I hope if he does listen to the podcast, I hope he just realized that he just made himself look real foolish on air Saturday. And that's all it is, because Hebot tore him a new one.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh man. But if I'd have got in there, Hebot did the intelligent way. No. With me, no. I'm totally different because I'd have just told him, I would have called him all kind of names and call him all kind of, you know, I don't know. But I mean, I just don't like when people do that. I mean, because I don't want nobody talking about my family. If you want to talk about me, okay, fine. But when you talk about just a piece of plastic and you get all upset and butthurt, please, there's no reason. So, I mean,
it's like I said. I mean, there's no point aiming arrows and daggers at us. You know, the thing is, you need to who you need to ask the question to, and just stop. Standing there, just on your knees, mouth open, talking about give us more. You need to go ahead and say something and be like, hey, why did you guys not wait for the full RDNA 2 chipset? Hey, why did you guys overclock this chip? Hey, I see y'all using the Azure servers, but our network is still kind of trash. What's going on? You can't attack us for this because we don't have control over what of what they're doing over there in Sony. We don't. We're over here scratching our heads just like y'all is. We're asking the questions too. So that's the only reason I say that is that's why the Xbox community is always evolving and getting better, because we ask the questions. Now, can't always say whether or not they're listening, but evidently they're doing something for it to have gotten to the point to where it is now, to where you even got Sony fans going like, wow, I think it's nice, it's spacey, it's roomy, I'm moving in.
Right.
We're like, where's the contract? I'm moving in today. So, but Miss Diamond, your thoughts?
Yeah.
So I 100% agree with Emmanuel about the crossplay and cross-save is going to definitely come in handy a lot, I think, with merging a lot of the communities together, especially like Among Us and games like that, and even Dead by Daylight, which is like a game that I hugely play all the time, is now cross-play. You can play with consoles on Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and trust me, you get a lot more console players than you do PC players right now. So I was originally a PlayStation gamer. I started off playing PlayStation 2. I had a PlayStation 1 when I was little. I grew up on PlayStation. And I got my first Xbox whenever the 360 came out, played Halo Reach every single day, made a bunch of friends on Xbox, and I thought the Xbox community was terrible at that time because I was a girl gamer. Girl gamers, they get the worst rep sometimes.
Well, you gotta remember what year we're talking about too.
Right, exactly. Still, it happens still today, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. We're talking about back then. But that was definitely a huge thing. Back then, especially whenever I first got my 360, it was a huge thing. So I had actually switched off the 360 and got a PlayStation 4 because I was like, PlayStation 4, what? So I got a PlayStation 4 and I actually played with a bunch of my friends. And whenever my friends stopped playing and they switched to the Xbox One, I would start playing with a bunch of randos. And that's whenever I learned, because, before then, they didn't really have online gameplay. I went from a PlayStation 2 to a PlayStation 4. So, I immediately just got online gameplay, parties, and everything. And I joined parties with random people after my friends started playing Xbox again. And it was nothing but hostility because they would ask me, what consoles I played. And I was like, oh, I just switched from a 360 or whatever to a PS4. And they're like, oh, you're not a real gamer. You used to play Xbox. That's trash. That's not even a real console.
Whoa, wait a minute. They're doing stuff like that now?
They were back then. Oh, yes, they were. So then not even just that, also female gamer. Female gamers get a lot of heat for being female gamers back then, especially. It was a huge thing. That or all the guys were like, oh, you're a girl. Do you need me to carry you? Sorry. You can't play video games. You would be surprised. I'm a huge PC person. I love games. And I'm actually most of the time, except for very few shooter games, I'm actually pretty decent most of the time. And my biggest thing is whenever people come in and they're like, do you need me to carry you? I can carry you through some games. My guy, I could probably beat your ass in some games. Calm down. I don't need you to carry me. But sure, why not? We'll go with that.
My very first time going against a female gamer was when I used to think I was hot shit with Street Fighter 2 Turbo back in no, it was Super Street Fighter back in the day. And it took, and I had some L's and stuff like that, but good God, the worst L I had was from a female.
It happens.
Yeah, so after that, it was like, yeah, my mindset was like, okay, yeah, you can't take nobody lightly.
Exactly. You don't know what you're getting on the other end of the console, the PC, whatever.
She did it dirty too. She was all like, "Oh, tee I don't know what this is." The next thing I know,
that's how I used to be in Mortal Kombat. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to play this game. How are you winning right now, Diamond? I don't know. I'm just pushing buttons.
You're like, no, you're not. You know exactly what the hell you're doing.
Exactly. So, growing up as a female gamer, I can definitely speak to sometimes the male side of the gaming community can definitely be very hostile towards women and females in general. Not all, because I've met some really good, and some of my closest guy friends are actually I met through Xbox and PC gaming. But as a female gamer, you definitely have those people that are like, oh, you're a girl, you just do it for the attention. Nah, my guy, I do it because I enjoy it, and I'm a nerd, and I like to play video games. Leave me alone. Not everything's for attention. I mean, especially now, over the last few years of becoming a female streamer, I've seen it. The way that even, the streaming community is different towards female streamers than what they are towards male streamers. And it's taken me a long time to even, build my community. And, I'm one of the... I'm this type of streamer and even player where I'm, positivity. I do what I do because I enjoy it, and I like to make people's day, and I like to do things to entertain people because I find it fun. And I know that people, especially people because I used to play on YouTube with my friends whenever I very first started streaming, and now I'm on Twitch. But I did it because I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed playing with my friends, and I enjoyed allowing people into my world to see what I do whenever I play games. And honestly, maybe 6 months ago, I was actually streaming, and I realized that it's still a thing with female gamers where it was 2:00 in the morning, and pretty much all my mods were sleeping, and I was just playing Minecraft at 2:00 in the morning, 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even 6. Playing Minecraft at 2:00 in the morning because I was out of work or whatever, because the whole pandemic thing, and a random dude join my stream, and it's 2:00 in the morning, so you're just it's 2 a.m. No one's really up. I'm just streaming because I had a couple friends that were watching or whatever, and they had actually fallen asleep. So I'm just playing by myself, and I'm looking at chat and stuff, and I didn't see his message at first because trying to play my game and focus. And I happen to look over, and then I just see, "Hey, fat ass," across my screen, and I was just like, and it was like 2:00 in the morning. I had nobody was online really. So, and I'm the type of person that have very thick skin. I've grew up as a female gamer. I learned from a very young age that you don't let these dudes that don't know you have anything or any type of hold of you, because they'll say anything to make you upset. And I also used to be the type of gamer girl that, like, literally, I'd get really upset whenever people would tell me stuff when I was younger. So me being me, and I'm very petty, I very politely looked at my camera and said, if you have the time to be in someone's stream at 2:00 in the morning and come up here and just say, "Hey, fat ass," then you honestly need to reconsider what you do with your time, buddy, and then banned them. So I was like, I don't have the time or the patience at 2:00 in the morning to be dealing with you and your pettiness. Because it is 2 a.m., my guy. 2 a.m.
Be like,
get it together, buddy.
Right, shoot, 2 a.m. You sure you should be up, little Billy?
That's
Does your mom know?
Does your mama know you're up at 2 a.m. on Twitch talking to grown women being disrespectful? I'm 28. And my parents. I'm 28 years old, and my parents, if I ever was disrespectful to somebody, the way some people come in my stream being disrespectful because I'm a female gamer, or because I'm not like the typical female gamer that they're used to seeing, I guess. My mama and daddy, as a 28-year-old grown-ass woman with a kid, would put me over their knee and not even care.
All right. So,
real quick, and I don't mean to cut you off, sir, because again, you're the host. This is your show. Real quick, I do want to. I want to just give a quick summary to what Emmanuel had brought up before, just in case some folks who might have missed it. Is because he brought up something interesting, and again, it just clicked to me about him. As far as he's concerned, he's fine with the quote unquote console war, but I think the crux of what he was getting at, y'all, just in case if y'all missed it, is there is, like, to make a quick parallel to real world events. If you look at the concept of war, and I'm talking about like war, like when people, they lose their lives and whatnot. The thing is, there is something called the rules of engagement. The thing is, even today, if you, again, I'm not trying to get political here, but let's just say if a company from the U.S. Army was to go into a foreign land, they have to be on their P's and Q's at 100%. And there are people who have to hold them accountable if something occurs within those lands, in those borders. So the thing is this, I think essentially where Emmanuel is getting is that if we're going to have war, fine, let's have war. But let's make sure that we have a code of ethics. Let's make sure we at least have a code or a set amount of principles that, again, have a form established of the do's and don'ts of this conflict that we're going through.
Yeah.
And I think that is and again, realistically, I think that is fair to be said. Now, here's the thing. And we look at, again, military, the thing is they can touch these people in person. So I think trying to take that concept and try to apply it more from the digital space is going to prove more difficult, but I think it is possible. It's just in the realm of like I put it like this. In every state, in every country, we need to establish not quote unquote a military force or even a military mindset, but more so just an understanding of what these rules of engagements are in every country, in every state, and making sure that the proper precautions and the proper discipline, additional what I'm trying to say. What is it? It's gonna slip on my. Hold on. It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. Right. Or disciplinary actions.
Yeah.
Is what I was trying to say. But I just want to give that just get that quick summary, just in case some people might gone over your head on that point. But that's all I just want to say on that point.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like that's pretty much as I was saying, man. It's like it's going to take both community and company to both rise up and just say, hey, look, y'all making us look like buffoons. Y'all need to cut this mess out. You either cut it out or we cut you out. So
and I think Phil Spencer does go out of his way to try to highlight that. Like you're saying, he says this kind of stuff to the players and on a company level. I know you guys remember with him, Reggie Fils-Aimé, I think it was Sean Layden were all on the stage together. That was a huge moment, kind of signify, we're all in this together, Like I said, I like the console wars, but we got to be reasonable with it. No doxing and all that crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is like this. I mean, to me, it's like this. Everybody is entitled to have their favorite brand. It's no different than having your favorite team.
Yeah.
It's no different than having your favorite sandwich meat. That's the way I look at it. Everybody's entitled to having their favorite thing, but it's just that it gets a little too far when you get a little too deep into your feels as to like how much you hate, you hate Pepperidge Farms sandwich meat. So Oscar Mayer is the best. So I'm gonna like just cover your car with Oscar Mayer bologna or something like that. I mean, it's going too far. So because I'll keep saying this and I'll say this till this day. I don't care for Nintendo. I really don't. But you don't see me over in their camp, just going crazy, just throwing stuff all over the place and saying, hey, you kid, I see you kids like playing more kid games. You don't see me doing that. I stay over in my lane, over on this side, and I let them enjoy what Nintendo wants them to enjoy. If Nintendo wants to give them another rehash of another rehash, let them do it. Let them enjoy it. It's not hurting me. It's not affecting me over here. I don't care. So, when we have certain people from the PlayStation camp, and there's other guilty folks from the PC camp as well, coming over like, yeah, I see Phil lied to y'all again about this and that. It's like, lied about what? What are you talking about? It's just, as I said, I mean, as I keep ending the podcast and telling people, it's like, just enjoy your gaming. Because the way things is going now, this day and age, you don't know what tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
So just enjoy your gaming. Enjoy those around you that give a damn about you. Just go ahead and just let this stuff go. But
basically, don't become a zealot. That's it. Really. Don't become a zealot.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a good example. Okay, you talk about the crossplay thing. Okay, how many times has Phil Spencer said he wants the crossplay thing for PC, the gamers and the PC gamers and the PlayStation gamers all to come together? Okay, the PC gamers and the Xbox gamers, they have came together on the crossplay. Now I don't know how many games is crossplay for the Sony PlayStation in right now, but I think when Phil Spencer talked about it, he wanted everybody to. I mean, he wants everybody to enjoy gaming. He just don't want just one side. He wants everybody to enjoy gaming, and it's so sad that the Sony people just keep this stuff up, and some of the Xbox people do too. Ain't no see me lying about it. They keep it up too, but I see more of the ponies keeping it up more than the Xbox. I mean, more than we do. because all we do is just talk about games and just keeping people honest and keeping people level minded and keeping people respectful of these consoles and all that stuff. So, but when it comes down to I think Phil Spencer doing a hell of a job. I think he's just, he's a gamer. It don't mean which platform, you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Phil, he got a PS4." He's a gamer. He don't care about that stuff. He's a true gamer. He does got a PS4, but he ain't gonna sit down. I mean, he ain't gonna sit up there and down Sony for everything that they do. But Sony will. I mean, when's the last time they ever talked about numbers? Every time when Microsoft come out with with a statement, they used to always come out with numbers. But all of a sudden, you didn't hear the number count no more. You didn't hear none of that no more. And I mean, it's unfair, but to me, when you got the Game Pass and all that stuff, it's a plus. It is a big plus. Because now you don't have to go out there spend a lot of money on one damn game. You got a lot of games into your disposal to play. And matter of fact, what's the name? Diamond?
Huh, what? What about Diamond?
Let me tell you right now, young lady.
Oh God.
You stick to your guns. Because let me tell you a story. A while back, we playing Call of Duty. I think it was on the 360. We played a group of girls. Those girls kicked our ass in Call of Duty. They made us look. I mean, I'm like, God, dog. I mean, we didn't know who they were until we all decided to go ahead and go into a private chat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. You talking about, I was like, damn, that's the most embarrassing. I said, like, damn, guys. I said, we got our ass handed to us. But I like the women in the gaming community. I do love it. I mean, and just keep up with your guns. I mean, whatever your, I mean, what is your, you got a YouTube channel?
I do. I have a YouTube channel that I used to play games on, but now it's my True Crime YouTube channel. Now I stream on Twitch.
Because I would like to see that, because I think I love to see women in gaming.
Twitch.tv/The Ultra Diamond Files is my Twitch. Just saying. Feel free to come hang out. I'm live pretty much almost every day.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like to see that. So
don't forget to post it in the comment section too. After this video comes up. Don't forget.
Hi, Coconut. Thanks, Coconut. I love you.
Hey, so so you're on Xbox Live a lot, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. My gamer tag is DJ Tugmaster. Just look me up, and then I would like to just sit down and talk to you. Hey, just send me an invite, and then I'll accept it.
All right.
So what is your gamer tag?
Ultra Diamond. It's been my same gamer tag since I first got a 360.
Ooh. Yeah, you've been gaming for a long time then. Okay, just send me an invite, then I'll hit you up.
Yeah. So, if you're on this StreamYards app, you should be able to private chat it over to them.
Okay. Oh, I see it.
Yeah. But moving along. Emmanuel, my main man, what topic you got for us?
Yes, sir. I didn't have too much this week. One thing that came out that really interested me, caught me by surprise, was the I think the Ori 2 soundtrack just came out, or I saw Xbox release that today, and I ended up listening to it for like 2-3 hours, man. It's absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to ask y'all, and it's nominated for best soundtrack for a game for the Game Awards. So I wanted to ask you guys, that replaced Lost Odyssey for my favorite game soundtrack. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite gaming soundtrack, either from this year or from in the past?
Oh man, dude.
Oh man, God, dog, man.
God, dude.
That's kind of a hard question. I'd say one of the.
That's
Halo,
like asking someone to
soundtracks.
pick your favorite child.
Man, if I was to name off my favorite soundtracks, you guys will probably only recognize maybe at least two of them and stuff.
Oh,
but
damn.
the number one soundtrack for me is always going to be Lightning Force, or also known as Thunder Force 4. Because if anybody's ever played any of the Thunder Force games, the soundtrack for those games, even for back then, for we're talking about the 16-bit era, those dudes, I mean, they were wizards with that FM chip. I mean, they put some heart. I mean, they put their foot in it. But after that, from there, it's my boy Yozu Koshiro, who has brought music to what you guys will recognize, the Shinobi series from the 16-bit era, namely Shinobi 2 and Shinobi 3, and also the most well-known one, Streets of Rage.
Oh my lord!
Oh
man.
yeah,
man, God, man.
He's the mastermind behind the soundtrack for Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. Well, he only did, I think, 2 songs off of 3. I think it was like a bunch of other artists, but I didn't care for it. But everyone else seemed to thought it was it was all right. So other than that, ActRaiser, which was on Super Nintendo, which was also Yozu Koshiro. So yeah, those are mine. But if you was to ask like anything like more recent, more new, I don't know, not really. I don't know why. I guess the only other thing is like maybe like Halo to an extent.
Yeah.
Halo 5 soundtrack was my favorite. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I think it was 3s that actually grabbed me.
Oh, 3 did have a good one. See, that's like asking me. You can't ask me about soundtracks because I love all the Halo ones. They make me all happy.
I didn't realize Halo was so awesome until I replayed the MCC collection, and they redid a lot of the tracks, and it sounds absolutely amazing.
Reach was my all-time favorite Halo of like every Halo ever created.
Yeah.
Man, I can't even. I don't even know where to go. Where my favorite soundtrack is, because Horde the Blind Forest, that first one, I love that soundtrack. I love the soundtrack, but I also love the soundtrack of Halo. What's the name of that one that the samurai Sakura?
Oh, Sakura. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Oh man, you can't go nothing wrong with the Japanese soundtrack, man. I mean, the music and everything is just phenomenal. So, their soundtracks are real good. But I like to say, I haven't really heard all of the Ori the Blind Forest 2 soundtrack, but the first one, phenomenal. So I leave it at
that. See, I'm thinking about my personal, and I don't mean to cut you off, sir. I'm gonna get mine real quick. I'm not gonna be too much on a tangent. I promise you, I'm not.
Being back.
I would say, for me personally, I don't have a specific. It's like I don't have a specific game in mind in terms of a soundtrack. Besides, hold on, because I will say there is one specifically that does come to mind, and it's called Everyone Go. Hold up, I'm trying to remember specifically what the game is called. Everybody has gone to the Rapture. If you've never heard of that game, I don't necessarily blame you, but let me tell y'all something right now. You don't even necessarily have to play the game. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'm saying this right now. That's great. So you know what I'm talking about. Like, if you listen to that, I'm going to tell y'all right now, look that up. Look the soundtrack for it. And I'm telling y'all right now, you're going to find a particular song. Out of all that, you're going to find something you're going to like. Because as far as I'm concerned, from the beginning to end, I love it. There's not even a song I dislike. at all. I love it. I was like, because I played the game, and to be honest with you, the game and its story, the pacing, because of the way the game is, you move around, you don't have like a play, the capacity to like sprint around and whatnot. And I guess maybe intentionally they did that to kind of like make the game a little longer. But when I tell y'all the way they did the narration and just how they had certain set pieces with the music, I mean, oh my goodness, it was so just. But that's what I will say. Now, in terms of more so of our franchise, in terms of their music to me or a soundtrack, I will always give it to Sega with the Sonic games. Because say what you want about Sonic games, I will not hold it against you. Okay. But you cannot say that Sega does not put out at least, at the very least, before Sonic 06. Okay, look, y'all. We know what it was. Let's not go down that road. But before Sonic 06, you cannot say they never had such fantastical music, especially if you ever played or you even listened to Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, specifically 2, and Sonic Race, which I never played the game, but I listened to the music, and it's just, first of all, I ain't gonna front. If you what's the song? Living in the City. Look that song up, and you listen to that
really
lady.
Good. I
ain't gonna front to y'all. I thought the lady who was singing that song, I thought she was black. I didn't find out till later on she wasn't. She was, I think she's like Irish or something. It threw me off completely because I'm like, baby, you got some soul in that. Don't get hold on. Wait a minute, because I know Diamond in here. I know, don't get twisted. You a sister too. But I'm just saying, in terms of just music, okay? I'm saying just in terms of just how you're used to music sounding from certain people or from certain backgrounds, to me, it just threw me off. But I was like, just love the fact that there's such diversity and you could find it any other place that could have such, have people have such a beautiful voices. And another franchise I would say is Kingdom Hearts. Even though I don't love all the music that comes from Kingdom Hearts, I will say there are certain music that to this day does not have the same impact that they have for me personally. And maybe it's because I was introduced to their soundtracks and whatnot at an earlier age. So maybe that's just my bias, speaking. Also with, Sonic as well. But at the end of the day, objectively speaking, I would say my favorite soundtrack of all time though, as currently as at this current stage in my life would definitely have to just be Sonic Adventure 2, because I cannot get enough of that soundtrack. I cannot get enough of it. I love that soundtrack. But that's my 2 cents on that.
Yo, this is Knuckles.
I'm just saying.
I was messing around.
Sonic brought back memories.
Man, shit is like.
I would probably have to say it would be Ocarina of Time, then it would be Kingdom Hearts 2 Sanctuary, then it would be your Halo 2 opening thing.
Yeah. Ocarina of Time was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep. But let's see. Well, we're closing in on 2 hours. This is actually my longest one. I appreciate y'all for keeping the energy alive in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the last topic. All right. For everybody that's tuning in and those that'll watch later and stuff like that, I know there's, because it's funny, we're trying to tell everybody to kind of chill out with the console warring and stuff like that. So I know one of the hot topics that is, basically being thrown on the log at everybody is the performance differences on the multi-platforms, after so many people have constantly gone on record about multi-plats are going to look and play better on the Series X. Because as we all know, on paper, the Series X is the more stronger of the next gen consoles. All right. the thing about it is that there's people who are out there who are trying to explain it. And this is, also going along with like what even Tuck was even saying about you just can't talk. You can't explain nothing because then all of a sudden you're considered damage controlling. You're considered fanboying. And the way I look at it and stuff like that, even when they do it for the PlayStation 5, is like I'm not looking at it as that. I'm looking at it as people trying to give reason as to what is going on. Because if you're going to go into someone's comment section saying like, wow, why is this happening? You just asked a question and they're trying to answer your question. So when they're trying to give you the answer, why are you trying to snub them? That practically sounds like you're trying to shoot the messenger. So anyways, take it as fanboying if you want. Take it as damage controlling as you want. But the thing about it is, just as Tuck and ODT has heard me say it enough. As sure as the sun comes up in the morning, you ain't gonna stop it. The truth is there. Now, as we all know, the PlayStation 5 was supposed to have been out last year. Now, borrowing something else from Mr. Nelson here is I would love to be the fly on the wall myself as to understand, what the heck went through their heads that they were like, AMD, we think this looks good. We're going to go ahead and take this over to Cerny's chop shop and go ahead and monkey in, stuff that we feel we need. But we don't have all the RDNA 2. Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. These primitive shaders, this will work perfectly. Okay. So I'm not gonna say that what they did was wrong or right, because at the end of the day, we're gonna all have to wait at the end of the road and see who comes across the finish line on this. But when people are giving any of you a hard time about what's going on with the performance gaps, you need to keep this all in mind. The fact that, remember, they already had their development kits well in hand for practically, I think, close to a year before anything for the Series X and S was in the hand of any developers. You might as well say that the development kits they have for the PlayStation 5 is essentially the same development kits for the PlayStation 4, just with added features that, basically make use of the hardware they have. All right. These performance differences are mainly because of the fact that the likes of, say, Ubisoft and Activision, they have gotten their dev kits for the Series X late because Microsoft had to wait for AMD to finish the full RDNA 2 chipset. I mean, they had to, because they were kind of helping them co-develop most of that stuff, as well as the software behind it. So they kind of had no choice but to wait. I mean, it's like doing a marathon race. You can't just take off for the finish line and you don't even have the doggone baton. That's not how it works. So I see a lot of comments of people getting pissy and upset and all that, like, oh, Microsoft needs to explain themselves. And it's like, well, they need to get their act together. It's like, dude, I mean, come on, man. Seriously, did you not understand that they had to wait for AMD? So my question to anybody who's getting salty about this is to ask you this. Would you have rather have waited to have the full feature, everything, the whole shebang? Would you have rather to have full access to the salad bar, as well as the buffet bar, or would you just rather to have been sit down at your table, have your kids' meal, and be sent on your way? That's the best way I can explain it, because that kids' meal, I mean, it'll get you over for a bit, but after a while, you're gonna be like, sitting there, rumbly tumbly, like, oh man, okay, I should have had a little bit of something else. I mean, I could have sat down and ate like a king. It could have lasted me longer.
Right. Actually, you know what? Real quick though, because I love the analogy you just used, and again just a little tidbit for y'all. When it comes to making analogies, I go down a rabbit hole with them. Okay, so I go further than a lot of people would do with their own analogies. So I want to utilize your particular analogy and say this, y'all, real quick. Just a little health tip for some of y'all if you all having certain issues with your personal body weight, aka your body fat. You might want to try intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, just real quick to let y'all know, it means like you're fasting a certain amount of hours in a day, and you allow yourself to eat a certain amount of carbs or calories specifically, and you allow your body fat to use up the rest of it. And so here's the thing: some people, ideally, you can really eat one meal a day, really, if you work towards getting that to that point in your own personal body. But again, it could differ between different people because how they made. Now, the reason I want to bring that up, y'all, is this: is that yes, can we have access to the salad bar? Can we have access? Will we prefer to have access to a salad bar? Will we want to prefer to have access to a full course, a buffet, versus have to go with a kids meal? Yes. But here's the important thing to consider: is just because we have access to all these things, does that mean we have to, quote unquote, get everything on our plate? We don't have to. We can, or say this, we don't have to be gluttonous within our consumption. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how we personally feel about these companies, they are the means of making money. At the end of the day, that's the purpose of these companies, to make money. So the thing is this: if you look at, and again, let's be objective about it. Let's not be subjective in this moment. Let's be objective. Objectively speaking, the Xbox Series X is the more powerful console. Now, here's the thing. You can take that and you can say, well, it don't have X, Y, Z on it. And it's like, look, no one said it didn't have it on there, but we're saying in terms of what it's built with, what it's made with. And there goes Mr. Techstorm. He's finally in the building. I'm glad to see you, sir.
Oh, man.
Okay. You're not gonna let that go, are you? All right. See, y'all can read that comment if you want. I ain't gonna read that comment. But the point being, why I want to utilize your particular analogy is, again, just want to highlight y'all. At the end of the day, we can have all these particular features on these consoles, but at the end of the day, us as consumers, and we're going to put forth our energy and our money towards, and not just us as consumers, but also, I'm glad you pointed this out, also for the devs. We have to take in consideration. At the end of the day, if we want these devs to make the best games possible for each platform, then these platforms need to make sure, or the people who are providing these platforms, we need to make sure that they have ample time to do what is appropriate. We have to be patient. So here's the thing: for some of us, maybe it's appropriate that we can have that kids meal, and that's enough for us. Some of us, again, we're not gluttonous, but we want to make sure we have full access to the whole buffet before we go into the restaurant in the first place, right? And so,
really, you're in the wrong place. I'll let you know that right now, bro.
Okay. So at the end of the day, y'all, when it comes to each console going into each generation, some are going to have their pros, some are going to have their cons. But overall, it's important to understand being objective about your intake of these particular products and your subjective understanding of them. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to take a certain piece of information and you're going to inflate it. And when you inflate it, when you inflate it, the thing is you are going to put yourself in a position where what's the word I want to say? You are getting comfortable in your ignorance. Because we're all going to be ignorant to something in some form of shape or fashion. But when you get comfortable within your ignorance, that speaks volume about your character. That speaks volume about the people around you. We shouldn't have that.
Hey, hold on a second. It really real. That kind of hurt. That kind of hurts my feelings because at least y'all get to play Gears of War. Oh wait, never mind. It's called The Last of Us.
True.
Oh, wait a minute. It's also called Uncharted. Next up.
Now hold on. I'm gonna say this.
What?
Oh, what happened, Chuck? What happened to him?
Oh shit, they got him out of
You
here.
disconnected.
Oh, wait, he's coming back. Phoenix
Press the wrong
down.
button. I'm sorry.
Phoenix down.
Yes, sir. What I was going to say was that gentleman comment you just highlighted. That's a good friend of mine. Who I told him we were going to do the podcast, but I told him that he's free to troll. He's going to troll a little bit, but he's doing it out of fun. Don't take the thing he's going to do seriously. He just being lighthearted. Okay, that's why I invited him. I want him to be an example of what it means to troll, but being lighthearted versus what we spoke before. So I just want to put that out there real quick. Go ahead.
I try to be troll free, man. So just letting you know, man. If you want to chill out and listen, I mean, that's cool. If you want to share some level-minded thoughts and stuff like that, then that's cool too. But be level-minded. So yeah, that's the only warning I can give. Because this is supposed to be where everybody can come in, relax, and enjoy some some Xbox news. So, but
I'll say for me, man, I gotta have I want all the RDNA features, specifically because we haven't seen exactly what they mean. So I don't want to be left out if it's something groundbreaking like a HDR was. And Phil just did an interview saying this stuff is going to come to fruition. So at a certain point, people are going to understand what it means to not have the full RDNA 2. And they're not going to enjoy it. It may be that 2 years, that 1 or 2 years, like Phil was saying, but we're gonna see because this stuff is integrated into PC gaming. We're gonna see this stuff on multiplats too. So that's when those multiplats are gonna really shine on Xbox. So it is gonna matter at a certain point.
Yeah, a lot of these features are coming in hot. Y'all gonna hear that a lot. And as I said before, they had to wait for AMD. So now that all that stuff is, did y'all notice that after AMD did their presentation of the 6000 series, that all of a sudden we got that the trailer for Watch Dogs with the ray tracing dropped. Y'all noticed that, right? And then did y'all also notice that? Whereas Capcom was all of a sudden like, yeah, we don't think ray tracing is going to be ready until next year for the Xbox consoles. You notice that changed. So, yeah, and like I said, the linchpin was AMD. They had to wait for them. So there's a lot more stuff that's coming on the way. That's I know a lot of people saying, well, they wanted us to wait on this. They want us to wait on that. Patience is a virtue. There's a lot more, there's deep meaning to that saying. So, but anyways, moving along, our tech guy, ODT, your thoughts on this? Because I'm sure you're tired of beating it to death, but I'm giving you the gloves.
No. This is educational. It's entertaining as well. So I don't really mind. I think this is kind of just a learning curve for the Sony camp that has never actually had to deal with this before on their side of the servers, and now they get to feel what it actually feels like to have overgrown server camp wanting to play games that they can't reach.
All right. What about you, Tuck?
Okay. This is where I draw the line. This is where I draw the line with Sony people. Okay. Now the thing about it is, we all know what we was waiting on with AMD. Everybody in here knows what they're waiting on. Okay, I'd rather have Xbox wait on that than not have it at all. Okay, so this is what irritates me with these Sony ponies. You think about your little special sauce that you got on your little whatever you want to call it. Okay? Let's get this straight. For them one, you got a broke ass system. The hard drive is not worth a damn. Let's get this straight. Your hard drive is not worth a darn.
True.
By time you get everything filled up in it, hell, you got your doggone hard drive already filled up. Okay, what about the external hard drive? That ain't gonna do you no damn good. Hell, you put the damn thing in rest mode, it might crash on you.
I'm about to say you can't even use it. It's supposed to be right now.
Right, and then you got Diamond. Then you got the Spider-Man Morales game. Come on now, they said it's crashing the damn system. So let me tell you.
Hey, Tuck, take it easy because Tech Storm might be over to sweating profusely now.
Dude, I do not care. I do not care. I mean, it's just like we have to keep on. We got to keep on pushing the narrative. I mean, it's like when Scalebound came. I mean, when Scalebound was canceled, the first thing they talk about, Microsoft should have came out with the game anyway. If the game's not ready, hey, they gave the people enough time to make the damn game. They took the money and they was making other games. So Microsoft decided to cancel the whole damn thing. So people get all bent out of shape at Microsoft because of that. Okay?
True.
Please. I mean, what do people expect from Microsoft to do? Microsoft is trying to be friendly about certain things. Phil Spencer is always trying to be friendly about certain things. And I was glad to see for the first time when that guy want to ask him about the Bethesda thing, and he just said straight up, "Hey, we don't need Sony. We don't need Nintendo." I mean, I'm like, okay, that's a slap in the face. But now, Sony, y'all got a lot of things y'all got a lot of issues dealing with your console. What about the performance update that y'all did that nobody don't even know nothing about? They don't even know what it did to the system. So y'all gonna do performance updates on your system already, and people don't even know what the hell it did? Man, Sony, you know what? Y'all should have just came up with that system next year and just give Microsoft their praise for a whole year. Because either way it goes, Microsoft is helping you out anyway. They're helping you out with what you're using their what are they using for Microsoft right now? Their
Azure servers.
They're using their servers.
Right.
I mean, Microsoft didn't have to do that. Hell, y'all went to Amazon. Amazon told you no. You went to Google. Google tell you, oh hell no. Microsoft said, okay, yeah, we'll let you do it. I mean, it's gonna cost you, but we'll let you do it because you know what? In the words of words, you know this might be your last console. This just might be your last console. Even I think one of the executives came out and said that this might be their last console. So they might be trying to do a streaming service from here on out.
Ooh.
But as of right now, Sony and the ponies, like I said, we already gave you the ingredients. We already told you all about what's going on with the PlayStation. So I tell you right now, and this from everybody on this panel, this is what everybody's telling you from this panel. You want to go out there and buy that Sony crap? Buy it. If it dies on you, you get what you get. So let me tell you right now, you're getting a half-ass cake. And you ain't getting the whole cake. You're getting a half-ass cake right now. It's like a cake. You don't have the butter, you don't have the sugar, but you got everything else. But you got the icing, but you don't have the cake.
That sounds like flatbread.
Yeah, yeah, that's worse than flatbread. That ain't no bread at all.
Hey,
All I'm saying is if Sony would just try a little bit harder, they could do a little better. That's all I'm saying.
Shit, I don't even think. I'm gonna tear it now, damn it. I don't even think they can do that.
I think they could if they really tried.
Mm-mm.
I have faith in them. I think they could if they actually tried. The
Shit,
question
I
is
doubt
are
it.
they going to try?
Yeah, I
Nope.
mean they could have, but the thing about it is that it all comes down to the fan base. If the
True.
fan base is okay and okie dokie with it, then they are okie
That's what they're
dokie
gonna
with
do.
it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do. So, hey, it is.
See,
It's all like,
this is
yeah.
the only thing I have to say about it is, I mean, okay, Xbox is doing a good thing, right? They brought you Xbox All Access, right? So it's like now you really don't even have to buy the console outright. For one, the console, I've been researching the Xbox One Series X, and I'm really mad upset that I was not able to get one on pre-order or launch day. Big sad, big upset. But like they're offering you an option to be able to get the console the same day, but you don't have to pay all the money up front.
That's right.
Which is phenomenal. And then also on top of that, you're not just getting. See, this is where we get on my little tangents about Xbox because Xbox all the way. But
Preach it.
Xbox Superior
Diamond.
console, just saying it now. But anyways, it also doesn't just come with the console and that wonderful controller and the beautiful HDR and everything wonderful that comes with the console Series X. It also comes with Game Pass Unlimited, so you don't have to pay for Xbox Live Gold anymore. You get it with your console. Then you also get over 100 games free because, you know, Game Pass is fucking amazing and has so many wonderful games on it. Dead by Daylight, Ark, all these very popular games that people play on console and PC are available through Game Pass. So you're getting well over the money that you're just paying for the console with the Game Pass Unlimited included in your All Access if you get it that way. Just
and
saying.
Diamond, do not forget EA Access. EA.
Yeah, also, so they're including EA Access in your Game Pass Unlimited. And if you ever decide you don't want Game Pass anymore, you can still keep that sweet EA Access and pay for it every month. I'm just saying,
So
you're getting gold and the games and EA Access for the Xbox Game Pass Unlimited. And then also, not even just that, you're also getting games for your PC. You got a PC sitting at home, you got games for it through the Game Pass. Just saying.
Girl, burn them.
Hold on, as Tech said multiple times, I
burn it down.
should work for Microsoft. I will hype them up every day, all day.
There you go, Diamond. Burn them up.
Just saying, Sony, get your shit together. Do better. Offer them something with their PlayStation Plus. Give them some consoles where they don't have to pay for it all up front. Do something. Get on Microsoft's level. That's all I have to say.
I'm serious.
Diamond, I'm going to add one more thing to that.
What?
Okay, your backwards compatibility list on the PS5, get it fixed.
True.
Get it fixed, okay? Because if you don't get it fixed, all they got are the PS5 games.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And Unlimited, you're right. It does. It has well over, between both of them, over 300 games. So literally, add up the prices of the games that they're selling them on Xbox, the game on actual Xbox Store for, and add up the value of all those games. Now, even if you don't download, but maybe 5-6 games off either one of those lists, you're literally getting your money's worth for that $14.99 a month. But then you don't even have to pay that right now because guess what? It's included in your Xbox All Access where you get your console for 24 months and 24 months.
Hell.
That's where I'm trying to go.
Take that deal.
That's right.
That's where I'm trying to go.
Deal.
Right.
You can't.
Boss likes saving money.
Man. You gotta save
bills.
money.
Yeah.
We all got bills.
I mean, it's
Boss got a
like you
kid.
said, Diamond. It's like you said, Diamond. If you don't have no money to turn around and get a game day one, you already got the Ultimate, you already got the Game Pass already.
Exactly.
So, it's done over as far as I'm concerned. Because the first thing at my job, they're going to turn time at my job. Well, Xbox don't have no games. I said, okay, what games that we don't have? We got the Game Pass.
Well, thanks.
They give you all the games in the world. We got all the games. What are you talking about?
So I just saw a comment that literally said, "Name 5 PlayStation games that have replay value." I can name one. I can actually
None.
name one. I can name one game that I feel from PlayStation that I bought the PlayStation Plus. I did like the little free trial thing that you can do on your PC for PlayStation, and I played this game Until Dawn. It does have replay value. I will give it that. That is the one game I've ever played from PlayStation that I will say has replay value, and I would replay again.
Dreams.
Huh?
But let me ask you this,
Until Dawn,
Diamond.
man.
Now, which one is it, Diamond?
Until Dawn.
That's
Until
Okay,
Dawn. Until
Diamond,
Dawn was a really
many-
good game.
hey, Diamond, how many times did you play that game?
I played it twice. The first time I killed the brother and I didn't want to, so I replayed it again and then I found out it doesn't work out either way. So then I was like, I'm gonna wait a little while and I'm gonna see if I can literally keep everybody alive again, and because I'm not gonna remember the next time I try and play. So I was like,
Well-
I'm gonna give it like 6 months and then I won't remember what I chose and I'm gonna go play it again like it's the first time I ever played it again. And I'm gonna see if I can keep everyone alive. Because the first time I played, I played it all through and I kept every single person alive until the end. But then I killed Josh, and I was like, "Well, damn, I want him to live," because I didn't really know that he doesn't live no matter what you do or anybody. By the way, my bad, guys. Spoiler alerts. But I didn't realize that he didn't live no matter what you did. So
Hell,
I
I mean,
played
that's
it
like,
the second time, and I was upset because he died either way, and I really wanted to keep him alive.
but it's like Gears of War 5. I mean, the first time when I played it, I beat it. The black guy died the first time, so I wanted to go back in there, and I just went back to that port, and I want to see old boy's son die,
Right.
and I just want to see how that was. After that, I said, okay, I'm not gonna play a single player game no more. But you got the multiplayer element, so what can you beat? You can't complain about it.
True.
You got the multiplayer element in the whole game, and that's it. Halo, and then people give, Microsoft don't have no games, but you got a single player game that you have nothing but single player elements. So
All I'm saying is Microsoft has a lot of games for everybody, everywhere. I
yeah,
can literally go on my Game Pass Ultimate on my PC right now and probably name 5 different games that people in the chat would play.
that's right.
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
exactly, and that's
And-
You know what?
That's
Real
been the
quick,
biggest thing.
real quick, if I'm not trying to cut no one off, but I do want to
No.
say, because I'm paying attention to the comments in the chat, and I do want to bring up something that I think oftentimes we don't really discuss about when it comes to the concept of replay value. First of all, just so y'all know this, there's a difference between the replay value that a base game has versus when it has additional content placed upon it. Like for
That is very
instance,
true.
like for instance, you could say, like someone brought up Spider-Man not having really replay value because of repetitive missions. Here's the thing: repetitiveness. First of all, if you've been playing games for, let's at least say 5+ years, you know repetitiveness is never going anywhere. It's going to be there regardless.
Oh,
Now,
heck
here's
yeah.
the thing. At the end of the day, how you personally deal with the repetitiveness within the gaming industry or any specific game, regardless of the genre it's in, is going to be there. So ultimately, everyone has different tolerance towards it. Now, here's the thing: if you look at Spider-Man in the DLCs, they had the city that never sleeps. The thing is this: let's say if I want to replay Spider-Man from beginning, right, and then going all the way back, or excuse me, now going into the DLCs, that does add some replay value to it. You could also look at what's another one? Okay, the Mass Effect series. In fact, just so y'all know this real quick, if y'all don't know this, they are planning on doing a remaster of the trilogy. My thing is this though, because I did cover this in the technical difficulties podcast when we brought it up. I said, look, for people who's never played the trilogy, I would suggest for you to get it. But my concern was more so with the people who have played the trilogy several times over. The thing is, what real value are we going to get if we go back to it? Yes, we have it. It looks good, sure. But here's the thing. You have to do more than just give me graphical fidelity or even a little tinkering of mechanics to really make me go by this trilogy. And so I suggested What if they were to bring?
Thanks to Hebot.
And the thing is, for me, they would have to bring in the DLCs. And the reason I say that is because it adds the value of me replaying and getting the whole package. Because think about this. If you were to, and I'm not going to spoil anything for the DLCs if no one's ever touched it. But I'm just saying, you're going to have a whole completely different experience if you were to revisit each game, but with the addition of the downloadable content of each one of them, it would enrich your desire to replay the game. And so that's the thing, y'all. When you want to look at Xbox, the thing is, this is what, and I won't lie to you, and I'm glad you brought it up before too. I forget who brought it up, but I know you brought it up about just how annoying it is that a lot of Sony ponies, right? Let's say that for the moment. Sony ponies want to get on about, but we have all these games. And it's like, look, at the end of the day, hold on. Oh, Lord, I almost lost my train of thought. Hold on. What I'm trying to say is this. At the end of the day, we can go back and forth about the current state of what games go on this particular system. But the fact that Microsoft has always made a way to make sure that any specific game, as far back as the original Xbox, can be played still to this day, that is something that for some reason, I don't know why, either, again, they're willfully being ignorant to that, or they would just want to be jackasses. But do you not understand just how much value that has? Because here's the thing, again, if I can go back and play a game that with now additional content that I wasn't able to access a long time ago, now I can do so because I have the access, that kind of feature on the current gen that is. And I can, and again, it may not run smoothly, but it could run better than it previously was. So again, there is advantage that Sony does not take advantage of. Now, again, that Microsoft does. And for some reason, I don't know why that is. For some reason, it doesn't connect to you. It doesn't manifest in your third eye, or you even have your third eye open. Not to go, into metaphysics and whatnot, but for some reason, you just want to be hard-headed for the sake of being hard-headed. And it's like you could live a much better life if you could just take that, excuse my language, but you can live a much better life if you just would lessen the amount of Vaseline that you put in your butthole and allowing this company to just ram it in you.
Yeah.
You would have such a much better life. Okay? I'm just saying. But that's my quick tangent. I didn't want to say on that while I was on my mind. Go ahead.
So go along with the comment.
Go along, do it. Yeah. Go and do it, man. Go and do it.
It's time for Big Bobby to step in. Big Bobby? No, Bobby, no.
To go along with the comment about what games that are exclusive to Xbox that it's worth buying over the PS, I personally agree that, honestly, like everybody's been saying, the backwards compatibility alone in itself is one reason why, honestly, I would prefer a console from Xbox over a PS any day. Not just that, Halo is one of the most nostalgic games that you can honestly keep replaying. And I know me personally that I could keep playing Halo no matter how many times I've played it, and it just has that something that you can replay the campaign and you can just relive it, and it's like you're playing it for especially like Halo 5's campaign. It speaks to me in my soul, besides Halo Reach. But like even now with what they're doing with the Halo Infinite, I cannot wait to see what they actually end up doing with that whenever it releases.
And Diamond, and like you said, the thing about it is you got co-op.
Exactly.
You can play the story with your friend. I'm like, man, come on, y'all.
You can play with your friends on your console, or you can play with your friends while they're on your PC, or you're on your PC and they're on their console, because if they have the Game Pass Ultimate, they can have the Master Chief Collection on their PC and y'all can play together. I mean, in the long run, if you honestly think about it, what Microsoft is offering is just honestly, in the long run, better for their community and people who want to come into the community because it offers you more options than what Sony and the PS4, PS5, everything, and PlayStation is offering you right now. They offer you so much more. They're not offering. Whenever you get the Ultimate Game Pass, you're not just getting games for your console. Once again, you're getting games for your PC. You're getting gold in it for not just your console, but also your PC. If you play those games, it's just like you're playing them on your Xbox. But guess what? If you end up playing them on your PC, in the long run, if you have an actually decent PC, it'll be just as good a quality as if you're playing on a new console. I'm just saying.
Hey, okay. Once again, really, really real. All right, look. What did your homie Mr. Nelson just say about hard-headedness? Now we were just answering your question, man. We gave you games.
Halo Infinite is I feel like they're gonna do amazing things. Halo Infinite is one main reason why I would personally recommend you buying the new Xbox. That game in itself is a huge reason to buy that game and the things they're gonna do with it.
But see, the thing is like, I mean, I know he's just trolling and everything, but even if it's just for lightheartedness, this is the reason why I don't bother wasting the energy to get into it. And I just tell people just enjoy your games, because this is going to continue on. Is going to be this constant to them. Once they go out and they get that new Uncharted, that new God of War, they beat it within 8 to 12 hours. They're bored. There's nothing else going on. There's nothing else popping. So they got to get into a whole new game loop. So they got to come, messing with legitimate gamers, because there's nothing else going on for them. And this is the game loop. This is the game loop. Basically keep stoking the fire. Just keep stoking the fire. Get experience, level up.
Exactly. And that's my thing. Like, okay, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Maybe you didn't think Halo 5 was the best, but I personally, as a Xbox player and a Halo fan, I loved Halo 5. It was one of my favorite Halo games besides Halo Reach to actually play through the whole entire campaign. And B, to answer your question, actually, no, Halo's not a dead franchise. They're bringing it back with Halo Infinite. It was dead for a minute, but it didn't go away too long. It's fine. It's back. Better than ever. They're going to do amazing things, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh, and there's another thing that we forgetting too. We're forgetting all about Microsoft Cloud Service.
Oh, true. Yeah, y'all missed it
earlier. Come on now.
Y'all missed it earlier. Also, not even to just go along with that, Microsoft's coming out with an xCloud gaming service. Guys, and they released it today in 4 different countries.
Yeah.
Oh, they released it there in 4 different countries today?
Yeah, they released it in 4 different countries today. Japan, Australia. Hold on, let me look. I just was talking about it at the beginning of the.
Good stuff, really real. I hope you enjoy it, man.
Oh, well, see, look at that.
And I mean, what people don't understand is that I was outside earlier the night before I even get off in here. I was on my tablet playing on the cloud.
Hey,
playing the racing game on the cloud.
Oh, that is right. Okay. I forgot you said you had that, Tuck.
Y'all, like I said, take advantage of it. Oh man, dude, it's good. It's overall good. I mean, you can take your phone, you can take your tablet. Now, I'll take my tablet because my phone my phone's big, but I'd rather have my tablet when I'm outside.
Right.
So all you gotta do is hook your controller up to that bad boy, and it's just like you playing your game at home.
Yeah, they released it in 4 more countries today. They released it in Australia, Japan, Brazil, and Mexico today.
So ponies, take that. Take that to the bank. I mean,
even at one point, they were talking about bringing the cloud service to like a Roku stick almost. But it's like literally, they're talking about bringing gaming to people who can't afford a cheaper option for people who want to be able to game, but they cannot afford the full console. They're talking about making an actual device almost similar to a Chromecast or a Roku stick for them to be able to actually play games on.
Yeah, they want to make it into an
And you see, and you see where Apple did. They turned a note on that. They wasn't gonna allow it at first, but now they're gonna allow it.
True.
That's gonna be on the Apple. So Apple ain't gonna lose out on that money.
Got no choice. Them investors. Remember what I said earlier about investors? They ain't trying to hear that.
Oh, heck no. You ain't never lying.
What cloud gaming does PlayStation have?
None.
They do have cloud gaming on PC, but that runs at 720p, and it's mostly PS3 titles. So they do have that, and it's bullshit.
Right, but this is more than just PC. This is available on any Android devices, on phones, tablets, anything. It's not just limited to one device. If you have it, you can literally do it on all your Android devices. So if you have a tablet sitting at home, you got a phone, you have more than one device, you start playing on one thing, and you move to your next device. It's more than just PC.
No. PS. To be fair, PlayStation does have that, but it's limited to Wi-Fi only, and that's from remote play. So they don't have it fully. People try to retort with that. It's not the same thing as xCloud. xCloud is
exactly.
leaps and bounds ahead. Yeah.
xCloud is like pretty much like having an. It's not exactly, but it's very much almost like having an Xbox on your device.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not the exact same thing, but it's very close. And
damn near close to it.
Exactly. And honestly, I feel like if they end up coming out with the Chromecast devices that are similar to that, then in the long run, what's going to happen? It's going to be like having a freaking a Chromecast sized Xbox being able to be plugged into your TV. And it's going to be, I guarantee you, half the price, if not three quarters less than the price of a console. They're going to probably charge you, I know for a fact that Microsoft's going to charge you way less than a console, and you're going to get pretty much the same features. Like,
yep,
that's an amazing thing that Microsoft's offering that I guarantee you that we will not see PlayStation offer for a very long time. I guarantee it.
But
if they do ever.
The money's not there. That's basically all it comes down to. I mean,
hey,
you.
I was going to say, were you able to add in Tech Storm? He was asking, could you add him in?
Oh shoot. Well, hold on a second. Where's he at? Because if he's on his Discord, I can send it. I can send the link there.
Right.
I mean, we're
on boss. Just to let you know, I did click on the link on Instagram, but for some reason it wasn't letting me in. So, just for future reference, while it's on my mind, you probably have to send that link on Discord. Because that's how I got into this.
That's how I got into was the Discord link.
Okay, yeah, I just saw him too. I just saw that he was trying to message me.
Hey Riley, what's your gamer tag, man?
But even then, it's not the same exact thing that Microsoft is offering right now with xCloud. That's nowhere near what they're offering. Like, it's similar, but it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Actually, you know what? Let me ask you guys a quick question. Hopefully, we're not going too much, because I know we're about 2 hours past. So hopefully, we're not gonna. I don't know how long we're gonna keep this up, but I was gonna. I do want to ask a quick question because Riley did bring up a very interesting comment to my attention about Apple and Android, and this is something I pointed out in again the technical difficulties podcast about when we were looking at the PlayStation UI. And I don't know if you guys happen to check that out, but something interesting that I noticed was that it felt like it was very heavily influenced to mirror mobile was it a mobile
display
kind of style to it.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta love that snap feature. It's fire. Oh wait. Never mind. I know where they got that from.
And the thing was this. I found it interesting that if you took the analogy of just, I guess, kind of like making a comparison of Apple and Android, in terms of, because here's the thing, like, I'm just being honest. I'm not a heavily technical sounding person like that, like other people who may be in here. But just from my own personal understanding, when you look at the phones that keep coming out, yes, the technology they're able to do with them by all means is impressive. I'm not denouncing that at all. But the thing is this: the fact that, think about it like this, right? If we have consoles, like, you know what's funny to me is you have people who complain about, oh, but this console is like 600 or 500, 600 with tax, if with tax even. And again, the price range can differ from place to
Right.
place. But here's the thing: you have people out here who are willing to go through so much foolishness to get a phone that is literally can be the double the price of a console, of a new gen console.
True.
So let's
keep
sit
on
back
preaching
and
it. Keep on preaching it.
So let's sit back and think about this for a second. To me, I would think that, and I'm gonna give it to Xbox. I'm gonna give it to Microsoft, because what you had brought up before, excuse me, something you brought up that was very interesting to me is that, yes, let's say if you're not able, because they got the advantage that this has. Let's say if you're not able to get a Xbox anytime soon, or Xbox Series X or S, does not, just because you don't have access to that. Let's say if you have access to a mobile device, be if it's your phone, be if it's a
That's
Mac,
right.
be if it's a tablet, then that's the next best thing until, let's say, you can make the means to get access to finally get, or let's say even if you were doing the payment plan, that
I
they
like
have
that.
access for that. So
True.
that's something I'm gonna give Xbox. And like I said before, competition is good, y'all. Let me remind y'all, at the end of the day, again, we can have our own personal feelings about these companies, but we never want anyone, again, no matter how hard you ride for Microsoft, you do not want Microsoft to be the monopoly. You don't want them to have a monopoly effect on the market. Regardless of how you may personally feel about it, you don't want that. Same thing goes for Sony. The same thing goes for Nintendo. Again, for Ubisoft, you don't want a monopoly effect. You want as much diversity within these companies as much as you possibly can. That's going to come with its positives, and that's going to come with its negatives. But here's the important part to be said. And
True.
this is my gripe when it comes to Sony. With Sony, again, because they got so comfortable, they have not really had anything to to kick them in the pants to actually start improving the services. Here's the thing: you can have, again, we can go back and forth about the games, but I remind y'all, these consoles have two purposes: the services and the games. The games we can fight about all day, but what really keeps these games alive, or what keeps these companies making money, is the services. Let's just
True.
be honest.
It's true.
Again, it's funny, we were just bringing up before about you can destroy your Xbox. You can buy it, you can blow that vape, you can make it smoke, you can do all that. But here's the thing: that is not what really makes the money off. Like, that's not what makes Microsoft's money back at the end of the day, is you buying a console. It also is you getting into their services. And you know what? Here's something interesting. What I'm trying to say. This is something I thought about just a few days ago too. Trying to figure out what I want to talk about on this podcast. Here's another thing I want y'all to keep in mind, or keep that bear in mind. There you go. What I want y'all to also keep that bear in mind is, if we were to say definitively, or say objectively speaking, that the Xbox Series X is the most powerful console as it is right now, right? We have to also think about the cost. Here's the thing: if Microsoft was to just rely on purely on the console selling, I'm pretty sure they would not make nearly as much as they could from that, or even the games that would be on that, let's say, in terms of being exclusives. But here's the thing: let's look at the services.
They had to realize that.
Right, they had to realize that. So here's the thing: that's why I say that Sony has been so comfortable, they haven't realized what's going to happen is you can't rely on pure games, just the game on the console to sustain you. You can't rely on that. You have to
Very
improve
true.
your services. If you don't improve your services, it makes me question, why should I get? That's why I say this, y'all. When it comes to PlayStation, I say PlayStation is the better side for single player games. Not specifically their exclusive single player games, but just single player games in general. Because here's the thing. Let's say if you can't renew your Plus membership, you're not dead in the water. You can at least play multiplayer games that are free to play. That's a thumbs up. You can play single player games as long as you have like a online access where you can download the necessary like patches and whatnot. You're good. Now here's the thing: if you took all that away, then again you can get to a situation where your PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 can just essentially just gather dust. That's what's going to happen. Now here's the thing: Xbox is putting themselves in a position of, regardless of whatever device you utilize, you're going to get the full service. So that's my thing. Like even when Sony has this PlayStation Plus collection, and I still say this to this day, is that I'm looking forward to see what they do with it. But the thing is this: they got to catch up. They got to catch up. If y'all not going to catch up and you're not going to do what needs to be done, you can't. Oh, let me be more specifically clear when I say this. It's not Sony specifically that I have specifically in my mind who going to complain. It's more so the people, again, the Sony ponies who going to start complaining. And it's like, look, you didn't demand better from this company. Why didn't you? You can make all the excuses in the world if you want to, but at the end of the day, let me remind y'all something. They get money off of you. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, they make money off of your hard-earned, legally, hopefully, money. So at the end of the day, if these companies are not doing what they're supposed to do, provide you as a consumer, provide you, the developers, the best access to put your vision, put your work out there into the world, and for us as consumers to enjoy them to the best of our abilities, then they're not really for us. And again, don't get twisted. Like I said before, these companies are out here to make money. But at the end of the day, not the platform, but the what's the word? But the medium that exists within gaming is something that no other medium can do. And if you can't recognize how much significance that plays in people's hearts, how this shapes people's realities, shape their morals, shape their philosophies, then to me, you're not for the culture, so to speak. And for people like that, I'm not going to say they need to be singled out, but I'm just saying they need to be put in the corner and have your timeout. You're not going to be in timeout forever, but you're going to be in timeout for a good minute. That's what I'm just saying. But I don't mean to go on that tangent, but that's the question I did want to ask. Go ahead.
So, but 100% agree on that. So that's all it comes down to. It's just, it's okay to like a brand. All right. But if you're going to be dropping your hard-earned coinage on said brand, then that in a sense kind of makes you a bit of an investor. And you might not be able to to walk up, kick the door in and come plop yourself down at a board meeting, but you are at least entitled to voice your opinion about something.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, depending on what the company is, there's usually somebody there with their branches out to listen. All right. Now the thing is like, let's call it as it is. Sony got comfy. That's all it comes down to. What they're doing right now with their games, this is a trend. And we all know what happens to trends after a period of time. As an indie developer myself, I don't have hair, but I used to I use the term pull my hair out, because I would look at these indie games, because see, this whole single player driven narrative thing, this all started from the indie scene, from games such as like That Dragon Cancer. I'm trying to think. I'm the names are escaping me. There's like one where it's like you're just an elderly person walking from one end of the park to the other, and you get people who are going on about, they're just gushing about this game, about like how it makes them feel and all other stuff like that. And the thing is, it's okay to to like experiences like that, but to me, it's more destructive than constructive to keep shoving that down everyone else's throats, who rather just play, something that's actually more a game rather than interactive art. And it just seems like, when Sony's producers saw that was such a huge cash grab, they're like, hey, let's try that with ours. And I think the first one they tried it with was Uncharted. And what was it? I don't think Uncharted was hitting on anything until what, 2?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And once they saw that, oh man, this really got them. Let's try another game like that. And then came The Last of Us, because it went from there. And so to me, it's like, okay, I mean, that's all well and good, but I just don't like it when everybody is all about like, Xbox need to do games like that. They need to make more like that themselves. Why? I mean, I'm not saying that they can't and they shouldn't, but I'm just saying, why is it a thing?
Yeah, they can keep those games.
I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, if for the sake of diversity, which is what they're striving for, yeah, sure, why not? But at the same time, to me, it's like, you shouldn't look at that as the be all. And just as we saw with Metacritic and stuff like that with The Last of Us 2, you can sit there quoting Metacritic scores as much as you want, but how much of those were paid for? So Meta's over there sweating profusely because them hands were caught in the cookie jar. So, anyways, we are now we're getting close to 3 hours. I am going to go ahead and leave it at that, and I really appreciate the Technical Difficulties podcast group, Miss Diamond and Mr. Nelson popping in with us, hanging out for a while. And it would have been nice
anytime.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to have Tech in here. I shot him the link. I would have shot it to him earlier, but I thought he said he wouldn't have been able to make it. So I didn't realize that he was trying to message me. And I apologize for that. Hopefully we can get him in next time, because like I said, I do this every week, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Well, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we also have the Friday show coming up as well, weekly wrap. So there's plenty of chances to pop in. So on that note, let me go ahead and get to the outros. I'm trying to read your name here because my screen's a bit small here. Fat boy lovers cake. or other words known as Mr. Nelson. Could you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes, sir. And again, a reminder, y'all, anyone in particular, for whatever reason, wants to, take what we discuss on the podcast and want to take it elsewhere, you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Again, I'm gonna put it in the comment section because it's essentially, it's just like an acronym of keep that bear in mind, but an acronym. But I'll post it there so y'all can find. It'll be easier to find me there. But that's where you can find me. And again, thank you very much for having me on the podcast as well with Ms. Diamond. We hopefully will, have further opportunities to get us, on to the podcast. And also, I would also like to say this as well. I would like to send again the invitation to you to come on to the technical difficulties podcast as well whenever you're available.
Oh man, I would definitely take that invitation, and I'll put it in my pocket, and I will be waiting.
Yes, sir.
All right, and Miss Diamond, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
So I stream pretty much 5-6 days a week, pretty much every afternoon after I get off of work at twitch.tv/the Ultra Diamond Files. You can find me on pretty much any of my social medias. They're all at Ultra Diamond 4. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm also always around in Discord, Ultra Diamond #0816. If anybody ever wants to talk to me, I'm always around to talk.
Okay, all right, thank you. And I just realized that Tuck must have cut out early because he's got to work in the morning, so he probably cut out early. All right, ODT, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Everybody can find me on Twitter, just roaming around on the nice little clouds, and on Xbox Live at the exact tag that you see on the screen.
All right, and my numero uno, Emmanuel, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes, sir. You can find me on Twitter at GamerWavy, WavyGamerX. And I'll say I do constructive console warring. That's what I do on there.
He's saying that while over there shining up his Cobra Commander helmet. I love wars.
Yeah, it was good episode. I'm glad we had Nelson on. Glad we had Diamond on. Hopefully we'll have Tech on in the future.
Yeah, hopefully so. And yeah, like I said, whenever you're ready to do your podcast, just shoot me the invite.
And also, real quick, again, I know I've plugged the podcast about several times to do this about over 3 hours. But I just want to say this real quick, y'all. Again, we would love to see y'all, coming to the stream because we do live stream the podcast. So we would definitely love for you guys to come check us out, especially when we have Boss on. So just let y'all know that it's on Thursdays too. But also, just real quick, letting you know too. Usually we'll try to post a podcast at least once a week, but depending on the news, we might post an additional one, be it before or after Thursdays. Just give y'all the heads up on that. But go ahead.
All righty. Okay, well, on that note, I'll go ahead and leave everybody with what I've been constantly saying throughout the chat. Is basically just go ahead and just never mind the negativity and everything that is going on. Just go ahead and just sit back and enjoy your gaming. Thanks for joining us, and all of you have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.